Hello, everybody, and welcome. Sorry, I'm a few minutes late. This morning has been nothing short of chaotic, and I was debating not even coming on at all because I don't know, I'm in like a weird mood at the moment, but here I am. So I figured I might as well just come on, and because why not? Why not? So here I am. I've been putting my lives off a little bit, and it's not for any reason other than I've just been in a weird place, and sometimes I like am all for going on here and talking, and then I'm too busy at the time, so I don't go on, and then by the time my live is scheduled, I'm just like I don't even have words for anybody at this point. Um, but yes, today is what, Wednesday, so I hope everybody is having a nice Wednesday. It is pouring rain where I am, so it is not a very nice day out. It's rather depressing actually. So I don't think that helps with my mood, but um, I don't know. Yeah, so I mean, we had a nice day yesterday though, so that's all that matters. That makes me happy. But I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who stopped by yesterday with my dad coming to talk to everybody again. I have some good news on that front. So my dad, obviously being who he is, has a lot of networking opportunities. So I don't want to say connections because that sounds like you're bragging. So I don't want to say it like that, but I'm not really sure what other word to use. But my dad knows a lot of people being in the industry he's in and what he does. So I put on a community post, I put a list of topics because he's going to help me network and find special guests to bring on for you guys and for me to interview. So, hi, Megan. And I'm excited about that because yeah, that'll be good. So if there's any topics, and the ones I had in my community post, those are just like suggestions or what came to my mind. And you guys are now familiar with what my dad does, and he has. I mean, we know people from all over. I mean, there's one person I would really, really like to get in for to interview him, and I think my dad probably could get him. His name's Jack Levin, and he is a professor of criminology at Northeastern University, and he is awesome. He looks like Einstein. You might recognize him from some documentaries, and he's done some like really great work on stuff I know you guys would be really interested in. But I'm glad that you enjoyed it, Megan. Hi. I don't. Oh, how do I say it? Lynn DS. Lynn, am I pronouncing that correctly? I'm sorry if I don't. I butcher people's names all the time. Sometimes I'll let you guys in on a little secret. Sometimes I don't say hi to people if I can't pronounce their name because I'm like, I'm going to butcher that. But I'm going to work on that because I would like to say hello to people. I don't mean to ignore anybody at all. Half time I'm not looking at the screen. But, without further ado, I did come to some realizations lately. And I did a couple community posts on it. And like I said, guys, I am not a drama channel. I do not want to I did it. Okay, awesome, perfect. All right, as long as I did it correctly, because I have butchered some people's names, and yeah, I know I have. They haven't corrected me, but I know it. So, so I'm not a drama channel, guys. I have no interest in being a clapback channel or going back and forth. What I'm trying to get into is more commentary, and the reason I'm doing that is because this is my community. So if I want to do commentary on the community, just looking at the stuff that's going on, not calling out, not anything like that, just giving my take on it, that is what I'm comfortable doing. And I'm also going to be doing my more serious stuff. So, but for the time being, I came to some realizations. So, for the longest time on YouTube, I came on here and I was in this community for over a year. So I've made connections with people, and I consider a lot of them as much of friends as you can be on the on YouTube, I guess. And some people I've like talked to personally on and off and stuff like that. So I feel like I've gotten, a little bit of a relationship with a lot of people. And to me, like, I build friendships kind of slowly. So I'm not, I'm kind of weird. So it really depends on the vibe I get from that person. I'm either way too trusting or don't ever trust them at all. And like either way, but I'm going to get into that because I have a point about that too. Just the, understanding that you can't trust somebody, but that doesn't make them my enemy at all. So, here's the thing, guys. Like I came on here and I found myself, kind of in some situations where I was, I don't, hold on. Hi, Anxious for Peace. Right. And Megan, that's what I'm doing. I'm not like, I hate using the word neutral because it gets mocked on here, but whatever. Like there's no other word for it. So, I don't want to be a channel that's like pro. And I just enjoy the channels that I enjoy. End of story. So, you know what I mean? Like I don't judge people for where they are, and I would hope other people would do the same. But if they do, they do. You know what? I can't waste my time caring about what people think about where I go and who, because things change so quickly that down the road you might not like this one person, and all of a sudden you guys are going to be best friends. Like, you know what I mean? So things change. And what I wanted to talk about on here today was just relationships on YouTube and kind of how I see them. So I don't really consider, I'm not friends with any other creators really. I'm friendly with some. I actually don't speak to any creators privately at this point in time. But so, and that's just, I haven't in quite some time actually, but I'm friendly, but I don't consider, I haven't talked to anybody really like, to become a friend. Hi, Mrs. B. And I just, how do I put this? I'm like all over the place today. I had a rough morning, guys. I thought I had a doctor's appointment, and when I got there, I remembered it was tomorrow. So I'm mad about that. So yeah, what I'm trying to say is like I'm friendly with a lot of people, and what I don't want for my channel is I don't want to be a channel that falls into a category of where you like. That's not what I want. I don't want to be like a channel that is pro one thing or another. I want to just be my own channel. That's it, and the thing is that here on YouTube, what I've had to understand is that everybody on here, and I'm sorry if like I'm speaking and this, if you're a creator and are listening and this doesn't apply to you, I apologize. Obviously there's no way for me to know for sure, but this is just how I handle things. I see it as creators are on here, and a lot of people here are like me. They're business savvy. I do business marketing. It's what I'm good at. It's how my brain works. And a lot of people use YouTube as a source of income, or my post about the details of my wisdom teeth. Have I mentioned my wisdom teeth on here? If I have, I mean, it was a horror story. I had really bad impacted ones, but yeah. Hold on. I like get off topic. Oh, okay, I can do this. I got this. But what I'm trying to say is that I have to realize that any creator on here is not here to be my friend, right? So I need to realize that I can be friendly with people and they don't have to be my enemy, but I know that if it comes down to the wire and, somebody has to make a decision, I'm not going to be the one that gets picked. They're going to save their own skin. And I firmly believe that. Hi, Nina. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, because I myself am like that. I am, if we're going to go down the Harry Potter road, I'm a Slytherin. So, there's a quote, and I believe the fifth book, and it's fifth book. No, seventh book. Sorry. And it said, we Slytherins are brave. Yes, but not stupid. Like, we'll save our own skin ultimately, but that doesn't mean not loyal. It just means that, I don't know. I think you guys get what I'm trying to say. And I think a lot of creators do. And I think it's a wise move. So I don't see that as problematic, but that's the thing. I don't trust anybody on here. And the problem is that there are people here that go really hard for one person or another. They really support a creator and they put their all into supporting that creator, whether it be jumping channel to channel, harassing people that don't like that person that they're loyal to, or, they're making videos to support that person, so on and so forth. We see that all the time. The problem is that where the hurt comes, and I actually didn't even know what happened yesterday happened. So, it's kind of interesting that it, would come up now, but then you'll see though, is you need to, you don't need to, but like for me, I need to be sure that somebody's going to pick me back. So if I pick a side, is that person, going to go out of their way for me? Probably not. I don't have a relationship like that with any creator on here. And I just have to assume that they're going to turn like that. But what I hate seeing is when subscribers get involved like that. So subscribers pick a side. and they like just give their all to somebody. And ultimately, something happens, and all of a sudden, that they expect somebody to react a certain way, and they don't. So they feel rejected. And I've seen it a lot with a lot of different. Hi, Amanda. I'm sorry, my dogs are being quite rude. Um, that means the mailman's here. Okay. And that's the thing. Like, but you can't blame people either. And I know I'm kind of talking in circles. I wanted to like outline what I'm saying. So as creators, right, especially if you're a larger channel, it is, I heard somebody mention it yesterday. I want to say, oh my God, my dogs are the worst. I want to say it was Jess who said it. Was that, as much as people would want to give subscribers individual and attention, it's hard. Especially, like for me, I have a small channel, so it's easier for me to do that. But when you have a larger channel, it gets to a point where you can't see everybody in chat. Half the time, some of the bigger channels, they're not even looking at the chat, which I mean, I wish people would. I'm talking about like bigger creators, but and like half the time the mods are the ones that are responding to the different comments, or if you're even emails sometimes. I believe that's how, I could be wrong, so don't quote me on this, but I believe that's how Natasha handles it, with the emails. At least I don't think that she goes through the emails herself. I could be wrong. Yeah, Nina, exactly. And I agree with you. That's, and that should be okay, for people to chime in where they want to. Now, are there chats that I won't go in? Yeah, there are. So, I mean, and that's for my own reasons, probably because I don't care for the people that frequent it, or I just can't stand listening to that creator, or, like we have reasons that we don't go into certain chats, but, there's a lot of creators that I don't like 100% care for. I like it when they're doing certain things and not others, which is our right and our, personal preference. But I like the people in their chat. I like the vibe. So I'll go in there. And that's my whole deal, though, is that, people will see you in one chat, and it comes down to that. And then what I don't understand, and even myself, I can't expect loyalty from anybody, right? So how am I trying to put this? I keep everybody at arm's length because, you never know, especially on here. And I want to be a trusting person. I want to make like connections with people, but as a creator, I have to not do that. And while I like to have relationships like with other people on here and chat with people, I'm going to continue doing that to my heart's content, because I like many people in this community. But with creators, I think a lot of people go in with the expectation that if, part of my language, if shit hits the fan, that creator is going to, return the favor. And I don't see that happen often. And unfortunately, that's it's not realistic to ask, but I do see a lot of people getting hurt with that. So, and not everybody thinks like you either. So hold on, not to jump in feet first and develop. You're right. Yeah. And I agree with you, anxious for peace. And that's, yeah. And Nina, I agree with you there. There are some creators that I have, they're on my list of ones that I can't support. There are many that are on my list of, they're not beyond redemption. You know what I mean? Like they might have done something that rubbed me the wrong way at one point, but it doesn't mean that I never will, because I like them as people, and I just might not like what's going on in the channel. And yeah, well, hold on. I appreciate that, Nina, because that's when I came on here. And I think I'm like I have ADD, guys, like diagnosed, medicated. I've had it, since age 6. So bear with me. My mind is everywhere, especially when I have a lot on my mind and a lot to say. It doesn't come out clearly. Or if it's something that I'm nervous about talking about, which I'm not nervous about talking about this, but for me, I'm very good at censoring and filtering. So I've had to my whole life. And it's just it's like a natural instinct for me to do. It's not a conscious thing. But once that filter comes off, and I think that that's the point I'm trying to make, though, is that when I came on here, I wasn't really sure. I wasn't even going to do a channel, but I was going to do one originally to call out the troubled teen industry, because I was like, that's something personal for me. But then it got to a point where, I was part of this community. I was seeing all the stuff going on around the holidays, and I had some stuff to say about that, because I definitely saw, hi, Johnny, I'm sorry. I didn't see you come in. And I had a lot of issues with some of the stuff that I was seeing going on. And I was like, you know what? I've never made a video before, but I made some funny videos first. And I sent them to a friend and I was like, should I post this? And she's like, why not? So I posted it and people really liked it because I wasn't making fun. I was more pointing out like behaviors and stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I can work with that. I did post some videos that I took down because they were rude about Natasha's weight, and that's not okay. I personally am not comfortable posting stuff like that. That is not what I wanted to put out into the universe. And I did it for the wrong reasons and I took it down and I apologized. So there's that. But I was pointing out behaviors and it got to a point where a lot of people, I wasn't using names because my whole philosophy is, right, Megan? Yeah, I agree with you 100% too. And I also think that, if you kind of have to watch everything to get an idea of what's, if you're going to speak on it. If you're not going to speak on it, whatever. I mean, I guess to each their own. It's not like a requirement, but I don't like the stuff being twisted and the lies and everything is taken out of context. I'm telling you guys, I have suspicions in my head that I can't prove, but I feel it in my bones, is what happened between me and some other people is that somebody was in their ear telling them something that I supposedly did. That never happened because there's no other explanation for it. So I feel like that's something that goes on a lot. I feel like there are some people who will go and they're in a live and they hear something and either they leave the chat or the live before they can hear how that creator finishes the sentence because they got what they wanted, or they got a screenshot, or they just make it up entirely to start issues, because I've seen that too. Lord knows I've had people come to me and try to start stuff between me and other people that I have chosen just to take with a grain of salt. And, and we do see that, and it happens all the time. And I think that's also part of the problem. And I think that, and it does. And I think clip channels, what I appreciate is that more and more clip channels are putting their source material in there. I actually got called out on that because I was basically a clip channel until I started doing lives. I didn't think I'd be any good at this. I would always hear other creators talk for hours and stuff. And I'm like, I couldn't hold an audience like that, but I guess I can a little bit. So yeah, you've been accused, right, Nina? And I'm telling you, there are things that I have heard about other people that I know are not true. Yet, if somebody's telling me that, they're probably telling somebody else that too. And, I also don't want, I always contemplate in my head, like, should I tell that person what somebody's saying? And I usually just leave it alone because, not everybody wants to know that stuff. And, or else it's something serious, which, it's not. But there are definitely people, and a lot of them, I'm telling you, with the emails, they do not use their screen names. So I have no idea who they are. And I usually just respond to, if I respond at all, I'm just like, okay, thanks. And I never address it because I know it's not true. But yeah, you're spot on, Nina. So many people, and there are some specific creators that tend to get blamed more than others for things that I would be willing to put my entire life savings on, did not do the thing that they're being accused of. So I strongly believe that. And I think that that's wrong. I think that people really need to do a better job of looking into whether something is fact or fiction, because otherwise, this is how all these hurt feelings happen. This is why people are paranoid. This is why people think that there are things going on that aren't going on. And I find that to be problematic because there are some people that they love this chaos. And great, people like drama. Drama sells. I'm here because, obviously a part of me enjoys drama because I'm part of this community. There's nothing wrong with that. What there's something wrong with is telling lies. I don't have any use or respect for liars. And, if you're going to be telling lies like that, just to continue, let people go. The creators here, for the most part, are really good at what they do. So if they're going to have drama, regardless of what you're talking about. So what we're seeing now is people being genuinely hurt. You're hearing the emotion in their voice. You're hearing how hurtful, some of the stuff that's gone on has been for them. And that's mostly because, in my opinion, there are people behind the scenes, kind of, molding that, for the sake of entertainment, which is sick. but people do it, and it's very true. Like they'll be like, "Oh, you know what? You know what I saw? I saw this," and all of that. Hold on, let me look at the chat. Yeah, you have to be strong. Be hold on. I swear I can read. Strong though to do it. I get so upset hearing some of the things that are said because I know it's not true and can foresee what's exactly, exactly. And the other thing, and I don't even think creators realize. Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate that too. Yes, I like to think that I'm okay sometimes. I don't give myself enough credit. I'm working on that though. But a lot of the time, I think creators don't realize that this is something they do. But if somebody comments something in the chat, right, and it's like, did you see so and so did this? And they read it out loud or post it. A lot of people, and they don't clarify that, like, they don't know that. They just know, they're reading a comment because it's suggested for YouTube to interact with your audience. I should be pinning comments. I just can't multitask. And I should be reading them out before I answer them, because otherwise when people watch a replay, they have no idea what I'm responding to. It's on like this list of tips for StreamYard. But I feel like a lot of people will say those things, and then, somebody who isn't looking at the chat or the screen hears it, and they're like, okay, well, this is a creator I trust, so that just came out of their mouth, so that must be true. And it's a whole thing. And yeah, right. Yeah, I get that, Nina. I do. I get that. I think I'm just using like broad terms for like the sake of speaking to like an audience here, because it's a word I know people get. I also am kind of somebody who functions in gray areas, because I also think like that. Like I take into those factors. But what I mean by liars, what I mean by that is by people who purposely say things that are not true on here to cause hurt. And that I don't have respect for people that do that. I really don't. And it's just, what's the point? There's enough going on that you don't even have to do that. But there are some people that want to be part of things, and they want to be involved, and they like the attention, and they don't care if the attention is negative or positive. That doesn't matter to them as long as they're getting that attention. There's a lot of that on here too. But I try to do something different. But when I was doing that, what my whole thing is that I wasn't using names. I said my whole philosophy was, if the shoe fits, wear it. So if what I'm saying resonates with you, then, there's something to it. Or if you think I'm talking about a specific person, there's something to that too, because that means that you might see that as well. So that was my whole thing. Because I didn't want to be a channel that had to like call out people specifically, because, well, we see how that goes. And I think that that's also a little problematic. I think that, you do have to have, like thick skin to come on here. And I mean, I'm not saying I do. I'm not really. I mean, I know who I am, and I know who I'm not though. So I try not to let it affect me. Anything that it affects me in a weird, different kind of way, but it's true. So I was just talking about the behaviors and things. And then it got to a point where people thought that I was like taking a side, or I was a whole bunch. And I was, I don't think like that. So when I was doing that, like, I wasn't consciously doing that as for any like malicious reason. I was just kind of doing my own thing. And I mean, obviously I wasn't happy with things I was seeing all over the place. And it wasn't just, with Natasha, there was stuff going on elsewhere that I didn't care for. And that's my right, in my opinion. Like, me not liking something that somebody does not mean I don't like that person. I think that gets twisted a lot too. So I can dislike something that somebody does. Okay, Megan, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, well, Nina, I agree with you. People's perceptions of reality, it's can be very, very different. I think that's why, witness statements sometimes are unreliable, because people's memories aren't quite, the brain does funny things. It does. I also have experienced times where I've had a completely different recollection of an event than somebody else. So I get what you mean. I totally get what you mean. But yeah, so I was just trying to call out behavior. So at first I was talking about Natasha because I had a lot to say about some of the stuff that I was seeing, and I didn't. And then that kind of went on, and then all of this fighting started, and I just didn't want a part of that. And somehow, I don't know how I got involved in that, but that's the thing, guys. Like, I don't it's just nuts how people like look at what happens, guys. So here's what happens. You see people like, let's say one person, let's say I was part of a community and I left that community and I was like a big part of it. So all of a sudden, everybody immediately, the creator's like, oh, I don't like that person. And immediately in the chat, you're seeing, well, I never liked that person anyway. Oh, I always knew something was wrong with that person. When just the other day, they were basically saying that that person was really great. And now we've even seen twice that now that people are back with, and now they're great again. So it's kind of disturbing how that works. And it disturbs me very, very much because it's like, guys, you either liked somebody or you didn't. It shouldn't matter what a creator says about them. These are, or are you just being ingenuine? And I value genuine people. I really, really do. I understand why people might not be. Why is my watch doing this? I understand that, but like for me, if I don't actually like something, I just don't say anything at all. So, if I don't like somebody's hair, okay, like just a weird example, but if I don't like somebody's hair, I'm not going to tell them it looks great. I'm just not going to say anything at all. So that way, when I'm, it's stupid, guys, and it just goes round and round and round. Oh, you get it, Megan? Yeah, I'm sure you do. Like pick a thing. Like you either like that person or you didn't, and that drives me nuts because now that we've seen it go on, it's like it's happened multiple times, and it's like I don't understand where that comes from, or people that have done really awful things to each other and suddenly they're friends again. Now, how I see that, and I'm not against people making amends. That's not at all what I'm trying to say here. But I use the word peace very seldom with this for a reason. And that reason is because I don't think people want peace, but I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing because it's a drama thing. So people go back and forth. I mean, that's how it works. But what I don't like, thanks for stopping by, Lynn. Oh, Lynn, I'm like tongue tied. I'm trying to read. I'm trying to like do all this. I'm sorry. I'm not at my best self right now. About being really. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I don't think you're wrong there. Oh, I saw that too. Yeah, that right. Yeah, so there's a lot of that. I have so many points to make today. So many. But it's crazy. And I see things for what they are or what I believe they are. Now, am I right about everything? No, I'm absolutely not. This is how my mind works. So I'm all for people making amends if it's genuine. If people want to talk, if they want to be, I always suggest talking privately just because not everything has to be a spectacle. Now I understand that, if you go and you talk to somebody privately and you don't get a response or you don't get, then I think that's fine to bring it public or else that's something that, both of you guys, it really to each their own. But for me, I try to go to people privately first, but you'll see that. And there are just people, and I can't help but wonder, with my mind being in a business world, I can't help but wonder what the motives are for certain things. And there are times where I'm listening to lives and I kind of just want to scream at my phone. And I'm just like, oh my God, that's not, like people get it all twisted, or they hear something and they'll get that twisted too. And I feel like I have to explain myself, but I see a lot of things on here as business moves, as people looking to grow their channel. And that's how I have to see it. And I believe that because ultimately, guys, creators are on here. Creators, if you're a creator on here, very few people here are not on here to build a channel. People that are on here, they want to grow their channel. They want to have an audience. They want to do well on YouTube. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's the purpose of becoming a creator. But what that also means is that 9 times out of 10, they're not gonna, they're looking out for themselves. So what I see it as is that, people see different things. Like there's value to going back to a certain person or vice versa. So I've seen that a few times, and I actually have seen it twice. And the first time was when everybody kind of was leaving NC, and you had a lot of channels pop up because they saw how quickly Jess grew, and people wanted that. So I saw a lot of like clip channels pop up after that. And then, when everybody kind of went back, all of a sudden you see clip channels going the opposite way come up because people see that and they take advantage of that. It's opportunistic. I don't. And what the problem with that is, though, is that a lot of the issues that are going on aren't even like YouTube related. Like, this isn't silly, not silly, but this isn't YouTube drama. A lot of this is like going far beyond that, where there's like real hurt, and people don't need to get involved in that. They don't. I have no desire to get involved in anybody else's personal life, and I don't think that somebody else's personal life should be content either. And I've seen that going on a lot too. So yeah, right. So like somebody's emotions and feelings and all of that is now content to make fun of. And I can't tell you how many videos like that I get in my recommended every single day. And there's new channels every single day. And I want to clarify, because I did hear somebody say, people say that people only went to NC to back to her to grow their channel. I'm not talking about small channels when I say that. Not talking about the small channels. I'm talking about the bigger channels. Look at the bigger channels that have gone back. They have grown. It's just a fact. It's widening your audience. It's, they kind of hit that wall of what they could get on one side because of one thing or another. And oh God, it piqued their interest, and they were like, okay. But what happens is they hit that wall, they plateau, either because they get into a fight with the person on one side, or they've, just made themselves completely unredeemable, or, they've been there long enough to know that like every sub that they could get from that, they've already gotten. So, time to move on and switch, because you see how quickly people forgive. So all of a sudden somebody is the devil incarnate, but, the next day, oh, well, they're not so bad. Let's give them a chance. Oh, I always liked that person. And I've heard that 1,000 times too. And I'm like, really? Because I've seen you talk a lot of shit about that person many times. But I guess you liked them all along. So, okay. You know what? Which one? I've taken a stand on a few issues. Not as many as I wish I had been more upfront about, but I have always been upfront about a few particular things that I believe in. And I also don't believe in that. I know that there's a lot of people that either don't like one person or another really strongly. So I get that. And I obviously get that. But I don't think that people should be dehumanized either way. So it's like, it's not, this isn't okay, but it's okay because, it's Granny, or it's okay because it's directed at Natasha. Yeah, making content out of personal life. Right. I think it's sick, and the sad thing is, and I heard it the other day, and you could hear like the hurt. Like, it was Jess who said, she said something along the lines of, get your screen grabs, use this as content. And that like broke my heart, guys. Like, because she knows that people are going to take that and they're going to make that into something to make fun. And I don't, how is that any better than any, anything else? Like, I think that's just, come on, guys. Like, we're better than that. At least I would never do that. That's her personal life. I also believe in that, for Natasha too. I also, don't like the fact that certain things have happened to her, or, at any point with that. But right now it's like, people will dehumanize things and they'll justify it because it's about somebody that they don't like. And I don't think that's right. I don't think it's right that people feel that they can't be genuine on here because, somebody's going to clip it and twist it and make it into something where they're making fun. And there are people on here and they know who they are. So I'm not even going to name them because they're small channels. And, I see you, like I thought better of a lot of people here. I really did. There were some people that I actually thought were genuinely like mature and they thought well. They might not have always agreed with me, but I always thought that they feel like that they have a good head on their shoulders. But the stuff that I'm seeing, it's like, they had a serious channel. They were going one way, but now it's all drama and just making fun of somebody. And I'm like, really? Like, I thought that you were different, but apparently not. So, hi, SA. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, right, Megan, you are so spot on. I don't like how subs are made to feel like property, right? Creators in the community, right. Yep. And it's like, and that's how it is. It's almost like, one person will say, the creator will say, because as a creator, I mean, not so much smaller channels, but even smaller channels, you have influence. So if you have influence, the people who really support you, they care about what you think. Many of them, not everybody, obviously, but there's a lot, a lot of people do. They want to support you. They want to see you happy. They want to see you succeed. And I have felt at times that, people have put me in a position where if I associate with, person X, Y, or Z, that means that I don't support them. And that couldn't be further from the truth, but that's how things are interpreted. And because I also am a subscriber around here, I do feel in the middle. I can imagine a lot of people here do too. And how rough is it when, like, a creator that, everybody was there for them because they, disliked a certain person or was talking about, and then all of a sudden the next day, they're like a complete, it's hard for subs. And really read out of context all kinds of accusations. You're right, Nina. I'm sorry that happened to you. And that's what I'm talking about. People's personal lives being invaded, people's real lives with their real, like, stuff that's going on being talked about and put onto the internet, where everybody can see it. And, just I have so much to talk about today. And just because, you took it down, somebody recorded it, they did. Or, that's, you can't post anything on here and expect it not to be recorded, or else, like, you're like me and not really anybody that anybody would really care. But, and it sucks. It makes people feel like they can't. It sucks. And I also had some things to say about what happened the other night. Hi, Deb, because I had a lot of words to say about that as well. The whole thing with Natasha, with Lycan and so on. And when I heard that, honestly, when I heard that, I was like, okay. Well, at first she did the other thing with, like, the cult dues and that, and guys, you got to give it to her. You might not like Natasha, but she is business savvy. There's no other way to put it. I'm sorry. She is. She knows what she's doing. There's a difference though. Business can be shady. I sometimes feel that way, but not everything. I think people would be surprised that she knows what she's doing. I'm not sure if she has any, like, formal training in business, but she does. She is quite business savvy. But then it evolved into, at first I thought it as a setup for just, getting those super chats in. And then when it continued to saying that she had a picture, and all I could think of when she said that was a bunch of women grabbing their phones and getting ready to take a screenshot, like, just waiting just to take a screenshot of that, for their own enjoyment. That's all I could think of when I heard that. But guys, why are we doing that? Like, that's taking it to a level that's like, it was a joke based on what others said. What was a joke? I don't know what the joke. I don't know. All I know about that is that I saw somebody saying that they're going to post, and I honestly, in my opinion, I don't think she was going to post that. I don't think she had any, and she put it off to the end. That's really, guys, and I hate talking about it like this, but that's business 101, how she handled that. But it should not have been at somebody else's expense with something like that. Now, do I know all the details? Oh, I know it's a joke, Megan. I know. I actually put a community post up about it and about that particular thing. But then when it evolved into the whole thing with Lycan, I took it down because I didn't want people to read it as that's what I was talking about. Because I'm like, okay, this just went into something that I'm not comfortable with. But I believe that she wasn't going to show that from the get-go. But the thing about it is that nobody should be. Yeah, exactly. She would have destroyed her channel if she posted this. She knows that. She's not dumb. She's not. But I don't know if that makes it even worse, though, that she was going to do that to try to get a reaction out of other people in a way that's, quite honestly, I mean, I can't speak for how other people feel, but that would be terrifying to me to know that somebody has something like that and is about to put it on the internet. I mean, I don't know. That's kind of a really shitty thing to do to somebody. Right. Yeah, Megan, with the minute she said it, and then what tipped me off was when she said, "I won't show it till the end of the live," and I'm like, okay, yep, I've read enough books about how to do YouTube because yes, I would like to grow my channel, so I do have books about how to grow my YouTube channel. Now, clearly, I need to read them again, but hey, X amount of words, and I don't appreciate that kind of stuff. I don't care who it is. Like, we should not be doing that. I don't understand because, guys, I've been here for over a year and it was not like this before. There was drama. There was some serious stuff that happened. There was definitely some stuff that was intense. But I want to make it clear, though, that a lot of that stuff was happening amongst a community that kind of like fringed upon this one that I'm not familiar with. So I am not familiar with the anti-MM community. I don't know who the people in that game are. I know a couple of the people that have come from there, obviously, that have been here, but I know nothing about that situation. When that was going on, I did not follow it. So I know that some people, when I say certain things, they're like, well, that happened. I get that. I know that now. But yeah, I agree with that too, Cece. I'm not happy about that either. I don't want people's family being involved because obviously that was done to get a reaction. And, I agree. I don't think he should have posted a picture of Hannah. I don't think that's appropriate. I mean, obviously he knows that that's going to get a reaction out of Natasha, and it did. So, I mean, it's not, I hate this eye for an eye attitude too. It's like, well, you did this to me, so I'm going to do this. Well, if we have that mindset, guys, nothing is going to end because everybody's always going to be doing something to somebody else. So what I'm trying to do is, just because I don't comment on the things that I see what people say about me. I've seen it. Not so much recently, but I've seen it, right? So I don't say anything because what's the point? I don't want to start a fight with somebody about something like that because then it'll just go back and forth, and it's not worth it. If they want to think that about me, then that's their right, I guess. But in time, I think people will see that I am not those things. But yeah, I think you know what, Mrs. B, I actually was thinking that as well. That also came to mind. But who knows? I don't know the truth. All I know is that if that was, a real situation that, was legit and like it wasn't anything other than what it was presented as, I think that's wrong. Well, Mrs. B, I'm not talking about anybody doing any, what I'm talking about is I have seen things in chats and I have seen things in comments. And that's okay. That's fine. I'm still going to be nice, but I'm also tired of being considerate of other people's feelings that are not considerate of mine. So I have bit my tongue many, many times because I, either like a person or don't want to hurt their feelings or so on and so forth. But, there are some people that, it's dawned on me, and it should have dawned on me. Oh, I know that, Mrs. B, but that's what I'm saying, though. I think maybe you came in after I said it, but that's what I'm saying. What I think is going on is there was somebody in somebody else's ear telling them that, I did X, Y, or Z when I did none of those things. And, and then they believe that person because that person is a loyal, person to them. And X amount of words, I'm just doing some commentary about the community right now and kind of how I see relationships on YouTube and how I look at it from a standpoint of a business, and people are going to ultimately do what's best for them. And I feel that people investing too much time and energy into it, like, I know that if it benefited somebody else to throw me under the bus, that they'll do that. And, at first I was like, okay, well, I would be hurt, but I don't know. Because I see that. Yeah, I know, Nina. I know. And then, right. And that's why I've always kind of not, ventured that way with that, because I see that and I don't really care for it personally. But and I haven't done anything, but there are people that think I did. There are people that think I talked to people privately that I've never spoken to. There are people that think that, and the part of it's like, why should I care? Right. But if it's to the point where I'm, people don't respect me, why should I respect other people. I'm always going to be respectful. It's who I am. So for me to say that does not mean that I'm going to go after it. But what it means is that why am I defending people? Why am I standing up for people? Why am I doing all of these things for people who would not do the same thing for me and have not done the same thing for me? That it doesn't make any sense. So I know that I like to think I'm friendly with other creators, some of them, but I don't have any friends that are other creators. I really actually at this point in time do not speak to any other creators privately. None, zero. I have in the past, but at this point in time, I speak to none, and I like it that way. And it's not that, it gets complicated, it gets murky, and the fact that I'm not a drama, and I went down that road, and that's my own fault. I kind of lost sight of what I was doing, and oh yeah, Nina, I saw that. Yes, I saw that the minute they went on that panel, in like December. I was like, okay, I see what's going on here. And that's just my opinion on that. I agree with you. And like I said, guys, that's actually a good thing to say, Nina, though, because honestly, and people need to understand that a lot of people are doing this for reasons, and you can't fault them for it, or you can, but I don't fault them, to build their channels. And a lot of stuff that goes on is solely for the sake of, getting subs from another community, or there are people that have no issue starting stuff with people to grow their own channel. And it works. I mean, obviously. And hold on, wait. Yeah, right. And that's what I'm saying, is that there are people that will start that because that's how they build their channels. And, the problem with that, though, yeah, and creators should know that. So I don't know why Natasha was bothered by me saying that it's a business move, because you would think that out of everybody, she would realize that, how many times, she's the one who even says people use her for stuff. So, that's all I'm saying, is that, people have used her community to try to grow their channels. I saw that with that one too. Hi, Mary. And right, exactly, Nina, exactly. And I saw that, and then that wasn't working, so that then moved on, and it'll jump. That's how they do it. Now, I'm not saying, actually, you know what? Some people in this community don't do that. That's fair. The bigger channels don't do that, but there are smaller channels that'll do it that way, because, and I see that, and I don't fault people for that. It's a little annoying sometimes when I see it, especially when it's like somebody who I see going chat to chat to chat to chat just to, kind of slide in and be sneaky about something. Now, I've learned, I try not to mention that I have a channel in people's chats. I really do. But if somebody brings it up, like, I'll talk about it. And sometimes people do. But a lot of people don't know I have a channel because I don't have anybody that really plugs it for me these days. I actually appreciate that Crafton and Kim shared my live from yesterday. That I was very grateful about that, because that was really, really nice of them. I'm glad that they did that. But honestly, like, I know better than to go in and start talking about that. But there are people that go into chat, they'll come into my chat and they'll be like, oh, well, I just did a live about that. I was like, okay, well, you wanted everyone to know you had a channel, but okay. Yeah, right, Nina. I see that too. Right. And that's how that works. And I'm perfectly comfortable saying that I stayed away from that entire scene for that reason, because I see that. And I was like, okay, well, you know what? If I ever crossed this person, this is what's going to happen. And I don't play games like that. I don't want to. Yes. Yeah, see, that's immediately what I thought the first time I heard it. I was like, okay, well, that's obvious. Because why else would he be here, guys? Honestly, like, I feel like this community, actually, I don't feel like, hi, Dave. I feel the majority of this community is like women ages 45 to 54. And it's not really a community that, we have men here, obviously, but we don't have like a large amount of men. And we certainly aren't, talking about topics that are particularly, you can tell when people are here from elsewhere for other reasons. And it's not just him. But again, I'm not going to fault him for that. So, because I get it. What I don't like is when people hurt each other. If you want to do your business, but it annoys me sometimes. I'm not gonna lie, it does. But I like to believe that people don't engage in relationships with other people for the sake of getting somewhere. Like, I don't like people being used. I'm not saying that's what's happening, but if it is, I don't like that at all. I that and people are like, you how are you good at business if you don't do that? Well, there's a way to sell without, selling out or like losing your integrity. And I am quite good at what I do. And it's kind of different in a business world. I like to keep everything above board, be ethical about what I do. But that's not always what's going to get you anywhere fast. Clearly. So yeah, Cece. And it's unfortunate because, there are people on here and you see it. Like it breaks my heart to see the amount of, I've heard a lot of crying lately, and it breaks my heart because YouTube should never be something that, makes somebody cry. And, sometimes I know that there have been fake tears on here. I mean, I think we all know that, but not the ones that I've heard lately. And it breaks my heart because it's all for what? For what? Like, to grow your channel, to purposely hurt somebody. I don't know, like, if people get off on hurting other people, I have no idea. But I don't like that. And I really, really try to be different than that. My goal of my channel is not to do what everybody else does. And I'm not faulting people. Like, people think that always like think that I'm faulting them. And that's why I've always been hesitant to say things, but I don't want to be hesitant anymore, guys. I want to say how I feel and what I think. And if I get backlash for that, I get backlash for that. I understand that. I understand that if I say something that, somebody might say something about me somewhere down the line. I really don't care. I really don't care. There are a few people on here that I like very much that I really don't want, to to not be friendly with them. There are a few people because I like them as people. But as for everybody else, why am I being hesitant? That's what I'm trying to say, is like, why have I been hesitant when that person would not think twice about throwing me under the bus or saying nasty things about me? And some of them have. If I was a creator and seen someone use my child. Yeah. Right. Right, Nina. Right. And that, yeah, I'm not talking about everybody. And I've always said this, and I know that this might upset some of and I really don't care at this point because it is what it is. But I have always liked Kim and Crafton. I have subscribed to them since, oh God, over a year now. I actually first heard them on Critical K's panel at one point, and I was like, okay, this, they do music and stuff, or Crafton does, and it piqued my interest. And my opinions, do I agree with everything that happens? No, I don't. Are there times that they handle things and I'm like, I don't really care for that? Sure. But that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna, that I like drop that person into, you know what I mean, guys? And that happens a lot too. It's like, okay, well, I can't like this person anymore because they did one thing that I don't like. Well, that's not who they are as people. And or else somebody burns me personally. I'm not gonna, why should I have to take up, you know what I mean? And I feel that way about a lot of people. And sometimes I can understand where people are coming from. So, if somebody lashes out at me, sometimes, right. And you don't, CC, and that's what I'm saying. People shouldn't judge people for who they like. And it bothers me because I don't care who everybody here likes, in particular. And I just don't. Like, there are some people that I have had issues with in the past or whatever. And I don't care when I see those people in those chats. I don't care. If that's something you enjoy, that's great. Like, the fact that somebody was like, kind of did something crappy to me, that doesn't affect you. And I don't judge people for that. But on the other hand, as a creator, and I've been told by people, they're like, well, you should make an alt to do that. So it'll hurt your channel if you, but YouTube is not that important to me that I'm not going to be myself. Hi, Froggy. Is that a skull? Yeah, that's a Misfit skull. It is. On the other, on there. Right. Yeah. Hold on. Oh, okay, Nina. I know what you mean. And that's, yeah, I did love when they left Nancy. I felt, yeah. And that, I mean, we have to accept that, though. There was a time where there was a lot more true crime on here. But guys, let's be honest. Let's be honest with ourselves. the people here now at this point, I think are here for drama. And I've had to accept that there's nothing wrong with that. And I appreciate that people do true crime. I would like them to do true crime. But that's not what's going on. And the problem with it too, guys, is that when people's lives are being affected, like personally, of course they're going to talk about it, right? Of course they are. So it's kind of hard to move on when people are hitting you with such, with heavy blows. So, I just, that's the thing about it though, is that, yeah, we have moved away from true crime. And I'm going to do true crime. That's what I want for my channel. And I want to be very clear about that. I'm doing this because I want to get that off my shoulders. The fact that I am not going to change who I am and what I have to say to make anybody happy at this point, because I have done enough of that. I have bit my tongue enough. I have been quiet. I have been too nice. And why? Where has that gotten me? Where has it gotten me to not speak my mind out of fear of hurting somebody else's feelings when nobody cares about my feelings? So what's the incentive? Yeah. And that's how it should be though. Like people, Nina, if people have an issue with somebody, I'm an open, like my emails, like it's like everybody has an issue and they'll talk to everybody but the person they have an issue with on here. And I don't bite. I'm not a mean person. I am genuinely a nice person. And I think, but the part of it is that people don't approach me. I don't know why they don't. But I'm open to constructive criticism and I get it. Megan is, but I appreciate, Megan, that you're honest with me and you do call me out. And I appreciate that. Because half the time and a lot of the time it's things that I don't want to hear, but when I put thought into it, I'm like, well, she's right. So, thank you, Cece. And I am going to do both. So I'm going to do my thing with my dad and the topics that I want to cover. I want to cover some serious stuff because I think that there's a lot of people that have similarities, with their lives and things they've been through in here. And I want to touch on those things and give people a place where they can talk about it because people do. When I've had those lives with my dad and all of that, the chat has been wonderful. Like there's some really great discussions going on. I think a lot of people have shared some really, heavy stuff in there. And I feel, I don't want to make this sound bad, but like, I'm happy that they feel comfortable coming here and doing that. And that's what I want for that. But I also want to do, commentary because this is my community. I do have things to say about it. And obviously people like it. And there's nothing wrong with me doing that. There's nothing wrong with it. And now do I understand? But I will take whatever backlash I get because time will tell that I am not a shitty person. I am not doing anything that behind the scenes. I mean, if I was and you confront, I'll be honest with you. I'll say, yeah, okay, I did that. I'm not going to lie to you. I'll be straight up. That's something that I have worked really hard on in my life is to I do overthink things. Very much, Megan. Very, very much. I am constantly thinking and overthinking. That's why when I write, it's like novels because I have to overqualify every point that I make. And then I have to rehash it because I'm like, I don't think that was clear enough. So I'm going to rewrite. And it goes on and on and on. It's ADHD, I'm telling you. It also comes from years of being bullied and having low self-worth. But like I said, guys, it took till this past July for me to be relatively comfortable in my own skin. And, forgive myself as a person because I was raised well. Obviously I, come from a place of privilege for lack of a better word, but that doesn't exclude people from having difficulties in their life. I had many difficulties in my life. I definitely had a very unique and I've had a lot of past trauma in my life. I'll be open about that. And it's affected how I think in some ways. And it's affected how I relate with other people and stuff like that. So I've also had to be like really conscious of, I'm like hyper paranoid of hurting other people now. And I need to stop that because what's the point? What's the point? I'm going to say what I think. If I don't agree with something somebody did, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. That's what I'm saying here. I don't think it was okay for Natasha to do what she did the other night with that. I don't think it was okay for Lycan to post the picture of Hannah. I don't think, obviously that's done for inflammatory purposes. And I'm not here for it. I don't like the fact that people's criminal or supposed criminal records are being posted. I don't think that's okay. Hold on. I like she was. Yeah, Nina, and I actually kind of agree with you on that. And a lot of people don't want to hear it. I think you know that. And I agree with you. And I will say that too, because I feel like there are some people on here that get villainized more than others. Now, do I know what goes on behind the scenes? I don't. Do I know? I don't know any of those things. But just from my experience, what I observe, I make my judgments on that. And I usually have a good vibe on people, and I'm able to figure out who I, get good vibes from. And there are some people I don't get good vibes from at all, but I'll be friendly with them. I'm just not going to, trust them with anything. But there are some people that I do get very good vibes from. That doesn't mean that they don't do things from time to time that I don't care for, but that's one of, how I feel about a lot of things. And, and I was like, you were the same. With what, Megan? I'm confused. I lose track of my thoughts too. Hi, Candy Kisses. Good to see you. Are you the one with the birthday? Is it your birthday? I think I saw something posted somewhere about, I was wondering if it was you. If it is, happy birthday. If not, consider me crazy. And maybe, yes. Right, Nina. Good point. Women who are outspoken are often villainized. I 100% agree. If there's a strong woman with a voice, people are intimidated by that. 100%. 100%. And I see there's quite a few women like that in this community, honestly. But I appreciate that there are some people, and I want to do that. I want to be able to come on here and speak my mind and not give a crap about repercussions, because I feel like the way that I want to do things, while obviously there are people that can't stand criticism. There are people that even if you say it in the nicest way, it's going to bother them. Now, I can't help that, right? So, if people want, if I'm going to say that I don't agree with something they did and they're going to get butthurt about that, then you know what, that's not my problem. Because I don't, but I'm also not going to come on here and what the heck? My phone is being wonky. But yeah, I'm not going to do things in a way. I'm not going to be doing the stuff that I've seen go on here. And I don't ever wish to be in a position where anybody would feel the need to do that to me. That's my whole thing. Oh, okay. Hold on. Yeah. Well, that's good, Nina. I'm glad that you did that. I mean, I have some thoughts on that situation too, but I've always tried to avoid that one for many, many reasons. And there was a time, the first time that I was going to come on here and kind of just spill it all and just come on here and say everything I wanted to say. And then, I was considering deleting my channel after that. And this was right before the thing that happened between me and Dorothy happened. This was literally the night before, I think. And then I just decided not to come on here and do that at all, because I was like, okay, well, I need to reevaluate what's going on here. But I was going to come on here and one of the things I wanted to call out more than anything else, like, I understand, guys, and I know people disagree with me on this. I get it, and that's okay. But I feel that, and I've only discussed her once, just for a reason, because I thought it was interesting. But, with Mrs. P, I get that why I get why she's difficult. Like, I understand. I have seen her videos. I have seen the things that she says. I have seen all of that. I understand why people would be put off by that or angry with that. I don't judge people for feeling that way. However, I'm not going to be one of the, I wasn't going to touch that issue. I'm not going to talk, because obviously there's something going on there, and that's not my business. So I think the best way to handle that is to just ignore it. Now, what I don't think helps is making videos that are just cruel and mean about her. I don't like that. I don't think that that's helpful. I think that she wants some attention, and she doesn't care if it's bad or good. I could be wrong. I can't, project on it, but there are some videos I've seen about her that are just, really awful, like really just mean and cruel. And I have a problem with that. And, and people are like, well, what about what she did to so and so? Well, that's the whole line of thinking that I hate on here. I don't care what somebody did to so and so or whatever. It's called being a good human being. It's called being a good person and realizing that, this person, isn't, I know she's smart. I get that, guys. I understand that, but I don't think making, and I mean this about everybody. It's not just Mrs. Portland. I don't think making cruel videos, and some of these guys, I think we all can agree that some of them, not all, are really cruel. And I've seen them about Natasha too. I've seen them about Jess. I've seen them about Dorothy. I've seen it about Kim. And there are just some that I just don't think are appropriate. Like there's a line between making a clip channel that's funny or pointing out a point, and then there's taking it too far, where it's borderlining onto not okay, in my opinion. And that's just how I feel about it. And that's why I never taught. I made one video about it. Right. Right. Exactly. And that's what I've said to Nina, is that I hope Mrs. Portland, I hope she finds a community that values her and that she feels comfortable in and all of that. And, I wish her the best as well. Truly do. And I don't actually, her videos, I think she has me blocked actually for some reason. But I did, the only video that I made about that, and it was the only time I was going to address it, was actually in her defense. But I try not to address it, but just because, we brought it up here, is that that's my whole view on it. But I think that that's a good point though, about a lot of channels in general. It's just that, there are people that make these clip channels and you can hide behind that name. And it's like people don't remember that there is a human being behind there. Now, if you want to like call people out or whatever, there's a right way to do that. I don't think that that's the problem. The problem is when, and I know that we've all at least seen a video like that, that's like, well, that probably, I don't like that person, but that's not okay. I've seen a lot of those. They always come up in my recommended now, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. And like I said, there are some people I'm very disappointed in because I thought better of them. I thought that their channel wasn't going to be a clip channel, being rude and mean to everybody, but apparently we're going to take it in that direction. So there we go. But I just wanted to say, like, the more people that get involved in this, the more people that are like keeping that is what keeps this going. That is what keeps this going. Because, there are channels that, are associated with one side or the other. So, when that smaller channel does something, the larger creator gets blamed, or, somebody comes after that. And it's just this, and I see the big picture at this point, and I'm like, no. Yeah. Right. Right. No, I get that, Nina. And I appreciate that there were people that did that. I think that's great. And obviously, that there comes a point where, you did what you can and you kind of, you have to move on, because, when push comes to shove, guys, nobody should be allowing themselves to be abused by somebody else, for any reason, which is actually why, hi, Crazy Kool-Aid. I was actually happy to hear, it resonated with me. Actually, something Jess said yesterday was, being straight up and saying, this person is difficult for me to handle. And this person comes off as abrasive or, abusive or, whatever. And I can't have that in my life right now. And I think that's great for somebody to be able to stand up and say that outright. I have respect for that, because a lot of people don't do that. And they just take it and take it and take it. And, eventually they snap. I think that's great that people, I need to do that in my personal life, honestly. But that's the thing. I have no problem in my personal life. And I've gotten much better at it, saying, you will not treat me like that. You will not abuse me. You will not say those things. That's not going to happen. And I will say that straight up. But on here, it's a little different. Alina, I don't remember. Oh, actually, yeah, I do remember that, Nina. I do. And that's the thing. Like, I don't even remember how we even got to this point here. But I don't want to do that thing. I want to do better. I want and my channel can be whatever I want it to be. I'm not going to make, what do they call it? A sock account. Is that making an alt? Is there a difference? Cause I'm not sure. I've seen both terminology used. I don't want to do that. I've made connections under my name. I don't want to, hide behind something just to come on here, because my behavior doesn't change. I have not been like, I don't hide behind my avatar and treat people like crap, anywhere at all. And if somebody perceives it that way, I am confident in myself that I don't feel that I have done that. And I'm going to stand by that. But So I don't think that I don't want to have, I'm not here to hide behind it and treat people poorly, and have not want people to know it's me. I don't do that. I want to stay under my name. If it hurts my channel, it hurts my channel. I mean, at this point, like, what I'm doing with my channel isn't working. So why not be more open and more genuine, I guess, and be less I don't want to say considerate, but less hyper vigilant about not hurting people's feelings, because that's not going to work. That's not going to work, because I do have opinions and I do have views, and I don't like everybody. And that's just the way it is. And I think that's how we are as human beings. Does everybody like everybody here? No. Are there people that like the same people as I do? Sure. There are some people that we have similar views, but not everybody. Um, hi Mishi. Um, yeah, Moody Mary, and I agree there. I found that too, though. And I felt very alone, because I felt like I couldn't go anywhere without somebody, assuming that I associate with that person. But then I was thinking to myself, why do I care? Why do I care if somebody wants to make that judgment? That's their problem. That is their problem. If they want to have an issue with me being in a particular chat that they don't like, well, why are you watching it? First of all, if you don't like that person, why are we like watching the chat like a hawk? Yeah, not all of our opinions need to be verbalized. I agree. And I totally agree. And that's how I usually function here, right? But there are some things that I would like to say, just this like commentary sake about things that I've been to, I haven't spoken my mind directly, just because I am very hyper vigilant about that. Right. No, I agree with you, Moody Mary. And I was getting to that, is that a lot of chats don't feel the way that they used to. There are a lot of chats that have just feel not great. They're not the right fit for me. And I avoid those chats because they don't. And it has nothing to do with, sometimes it has something to do with the creator, but not all the time. But I do feel like the creator and things set the mood, but I also think the people do. So there are some chats that I used to frequent a lot, and now when I go in there, it doesn't feel the same. There's something off about it, and it's toxic. I'm sorry, guys. All right, I'll say it's toxic, and you can't get away from it. And I don't know what can be done about that. You like to think that the creator has some control, but they don't. Creator, they can kind of set a mood, but obviously, you can't control what comes out of grown people's, mouths. You just can't. But that's what mods are for. Your mods should be on the same page of what is acceptable, what's not, and they should take care of that. However, not even that's good enough sometimes. So I haven't quite cracked that case of how that works, but there are some really toxic chats. Not all of them. And it's actually some creators that people say are the most toxic, that their chats are not toxic at all, in my opinion. And that's interesting to me. But and I don't go to them either. And I felt like I couldn't go anywhere, because it's like, okay, well, if I go there, then, blah, blah, blah. But I don't care anymore, because I like who I like. And if you have a problem with that, then I'm sorry to hear that. I don't, decide that I can't support somebody because they, frequent a chat, or, we all have different opinions. We don't have to like the same people. Now, what I judge people on is their behavior. So if somebody, if I was to be behaving awful and like, bashing people and whatever, then you can judge me. That's fine. If you want to judge my character based on where I go, I don't see eye to eye on that. And I always put myself in the thing where I can see both sides, but I don't function like that. And I would hope I don't stand like that. That's not how I work. I judge people by their actions, not who they align with a lot of the time. It depends though. Obviously, if somebody is like really terrible and they're, associating, then that's a problem, or a red flag, at least for me. But I always give people a chance, always. So even if they do associate with somebody that I don't like, and that's obviously going to be a red flag, so I will see that immediately. But that doesn't mean that I won't give them a chance, because that doesn't mean you're a bad person. If somebody has a different opinion than you, that doesn't make them a bad person. That doesn't make them your enemy. It just means that, maybe you don't have the same values in some ways. But that doesn't mean people can't get along. I mean, I strongly believe that. But, a lot of people have needed to take a break from YouTube. I have seen so many people being like, I can't do this anymore. And they're subscribers. And, let's be honest, like I come on here as an escape or to socialize, or this is like, my time away from, to decompress. And the problem though is that, when YouTube like becomes something that's affecting your mental health or your, it's not a good thing for you anymore. And then you have to take a break, which is totally fine. Like there's no shame. And I think that's a great thing to do. And you know yourself well enough to do that. What I'm trying to say about that though is that YouTube is entertainment. It's like that is how it's classified. And when it goes beyond that and it's affecting people, and I think creators need to be more mindful of that. I do. I think creators need to be mindful, and I know that you can't make everybody happy, and that's fine. But I think that subs, like when it's this amount of subs that are being affected, maybe we could take a look at what's going on and see if there's maybe some little adjustments we can make to try and, I don't know, fix that, because it's not a normal number. Like this is out of range for what I usually see. I don't know who that is, Megan. Do I know who that is? I don't know who that is. I don't know who KJ is, but maybe I do. I don't know. Yeah, it should not bring stress into your real life. I hate that. And it really bothers me because this is supposed to be entertainment for everybody. And not Mrs. B, I appreciate you even, stopping by. I appreciate each and every one of you for coming to my chat. I know that I'm a smaller channel. I'm not always the most popular one on here, but I do a variety of stuff. I mean, I make videos. I'm going to be doing true crime. I've done some serious lives on some like interesting topics, and I'm going to do commentary from time to time as filler because why not? And I am going to start doing my videos again because first of all, people voted that they would like me to. And second of all, I think that I have something unique to offer there. So my videos are able to like point out things on the community without, taking it to a level where I feel is bashing. I think it's just more observations, which is what I would like to do. I would like to say what I feel about situations. That's all, not saying that people are bad, not all of that. And I think a lot of times people feel like they can't, if they agree with something, they have nothing that person does is wrong. And I don't know if there's a term for that. I think there is, besides blind loyalty. But it's like, okay, so this person is all bad because it's the enemy. Well, I think everybody has redeeming qualities. Let's be honest. And they must, because how many times have we seen people that are like, well, I never liked that person, but now they like them again. So clearly something's not adding up here. And it's like the valuing and devaluing of people on here and how fast that happens is disturbing. It's disturbing to see. And I've seen it in real time several times now. And Cece, and that's, I get you on that. I don't think you're alone with that. And if there's something that's too much, that's fine. We don't all have to like the same people. I'm most of the time pretty neutral on things because it takes a lot to really bother me. But there are some creators that I don't watch. That's for sure. And I try to, if I see somebody, they're like, oh, you should go watch so-and-so's video. I'm like, yeah, well, I don't subscribe to that person and I have no desire to, but that's just my opinion. There are some people whose style I don't care for, or their voice is just something about it. And that sometimes that's, I'm not going to listen to them. Will I subscribe if it's somebody I like personally? Yeah, I'll subscribe, but I'm not going to watch their lives, or not listen for very long. I can't think of anyone in particular for that. I don't think I'm doing that with anybody right now, but yeah, I mean, right. And that's the thing, guys, is that, there are other drama communities, obviously. And what happens here is like, it's different and it's its own breed of awful. And I feel like it's been going on since, very recently. I feel like, even last summer, there were some peaks. There was some drama that went on last summer, around like May and, around May, June, maybe even July. And there was a lot of that going on too. And some of that was serious stuff, or like ones that, could have been real life, I guess. But it wasn't like this. And it's not going to stop. This isn't going to stop. And I don't think anybody wants it. And guys, let's also be honest on this. And I'm sorry if, you like, Natasha, and that's your right too. I'm not judging on that either. Like I'm not going to, but why would she want this to stop? Why would she want that to, this is lucrative for, the people involved here. Like the drama people are always like, they just want to be left alone. Well, I understand that. There are things that happen to her that I don't think is okay. However, if she's going to do drama, like if it's a drama channel, which I believe that's what it says in the description, her doing other that it doesn't work like that. So why, have you guys noticed when creators get the most super chats? Because let's be honest, people get the most super chats when they're crying or doing like extreme drama. So what is the incentive not to do that? Like, that's how I see it, and I don't understand how other people don't see that, but that's just how, like, why would she want that to stop? Because people, when she's doing like that stuff that isn't that, people aren't super chatty. I mean, I guess there has to be drama, right? Guys, I'll let you guys in on something, and it made me kind of uncomfortable, but I appreciate everybody. That one night, I mean, I don't put my payment info out there all the time either, but because I don't expect anybody that nobody here owes me anything financially, so I'm not going to talk about that. But the one time after what happened with Dorothy happened, when I was having like an emotional time on here, guys, that is the only time that I've been on here that I have received a very large amount of like PayPals and donations, which I appreciate. And I appreciate anybody who has sent anything to me at all, because you guys don't owe that to me. I'm not entitled to that, but I appreciate it. And, a lot of the messages that are attached to that are very validating. And half the time I don't check it. And when I check it, there's like one there that's been there. And I feel like I was rude, but like, I'm telling you guys, people don't pay me. So I'm very rarely even checking it, but that's what got me. Like, people were, sending me PayPals and, Cash App, and, and I saw it. I was like, okay, well then this is, we see it. And I'm not saying it's, I think there are a lot of generous people in here with like big hearts. And I think that's part of it. Especially if somebody's crying and it's a creator that they care about. I also think, however, because I mean, we saw that too, people were throwing super chats at Natasha to show that picture of Lycan. And, there's also people who will pay to have drama continue because they enjoy this. And when it's calm and there aren't a lot of lives, they don't have anything to listen to. And, that's what they're going to do. I've seen that too. And I see that as well. And I think I know that that's not going to stop. However, the drama, yeah, some of it is, I think. Hi, Nicole. Right. Well, Ishi, if you're doing a drama channel, then yes. And I think that there are some people who would like to do other things, but like Natasha has multiple. You're not blocked here. I'm sorry. I'm not looking at the chat. I'm sorry, Afa. I meant to say hello. I'm trying. I am so ADD. You're not blocked here. I have nobody blocked. I think I have one person blocked. That's it. I don't feel the need to block people. I like you, so I don't know. I would not block you. Yeah, some go on right. Thank you, Megan. That's very true. Some people will. They'll go on channels for moral support to get them to do things. I see it in play. And they go up there with that purpose to keep that creator on track to go at this. And they're like, oh yes, well, you should feel that way. That's right. Well, they did this to you and blah, 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 blah. And it's getting, it's going to that creator and they're like, and I don't like that. And people have tried to do that to me as well. Hi, Kellyanne. And yeah, it is too extreme. It is going too far. And I'm not going to participate. And I would never do most of the stuff that I see going on out here. I just wouldn't. And it's not going to stop. But it's like the worse it is, the more super chats people get. Now, I mean, it's people's right to do with their money what they want. It really is. And that is not my issue with, I know some people have, that is not my issue with certain, other creators. That's not my issue with Natasha. Not specifically, but that's not my issue, because obviously some people are on here. This is with whatever. Like, if I can't control what other people do with their money, do I? Might I be a little judgmental of it? Sure, we all are in our own heads. But yeah, people are gonna throw super chats. Like, it doesn't matter. And it's like the more you say, the more people react to that, and the more people are like, oh, and then it's done to just piss the other creator off. We see that all the time too. A lot of the time, I think, things that subs do give money to purposely piss off another creator or supposedly or whatever. I see that a lot too. And I think that, it's like how do we make that stop? We can't. Because do you blame people for wanting to make money either though, right? But it's like at the expense of somebody else. And I don't like that. And I'm not going to say that, but that's the thing. It's like it's incentivized to behave a certain way. And I can't, that's not going to change, guys. Unfortunately, that's not going to change. And I can talk about that till the cows come home, and it's not going to change. But yeah, right. Or minimize action. Yeah, there are a lot of perspectives, Nina. That's true. And like I said, I always try to look at like where things come from, and how it's, because there are some things that, like, if somebody lies, I can understand. Like, it comes from a place where I can validate it, kind of. And I actually can think of a very specific situation in that you would be very familiar with. But there are some things that, like, you don't want to make it public, so you might, present it. Because people aren't entitled to everybody's business either. I want to make that very clear. What goes on with other people, like, that is not my business. It is not your business. It is not anybody's business, but the people involved with that. I truly, truly believe that. So I'm going to put that out there. Like, and I know I've mentioned it a lot, but like, I had to write one tiny story. And the problem also with that, though, is that how often do people just like delete their lives afterwards? And then you're like, I can't even like fact check this because it's not there anymore. And that's upsetting to me as well, because a lot of the time I do hear things secondhand, and people do come to me and try to get me upset with somebody else. It happens all the time. And, I don't know if this happens to other creators. I'm not sure. I'm not, but people, I don't know if maybe people think they can manipulate me. I'm not sure, but I have received emails where there are people that want me to be angry at somebody else. And they will say that, this person did this, or this, or this. And then I'm like, well, I find that very hard to believe, because that person, I didn't know I had a problem with that person, first of all. And second of all, like, I can't find it anywhere. So I just disregard. And I'm like, okay, well, whatever. I'm not going to go after somebody, for someone else's entertainment. And because, guys, think about it this way. It's the creators that pay for that in the end. It's not the subscribers. When somebody's going at it, and like people are like throwing money at them to go, and and they do, ultimately it reflects badly on the creator. And that's just how it works. And I don't know. I don't think there's an easy fix to it. Yeah, the behind the scenes, if I think that it's okay for people to, I think behind the scenes, I think that, behind the scenes doesn't just mean like, talking. What I think behind the scenes to me means that people are kind of, over the summer, guys, for example, this past like May, or there was a whole thing about this for Watts Island and the supposed, the script, where all the creators were in on doing this coordinated drama. And, it involved creators in Watts Island. And that was a very big topic for, if my memory is correct, at least 2 weeks. And, it's still mentioned here and there. But what I consider behind the scenes that's problematic is people. And I get that, there are some manufactured things because it's called mutual benefit. It's called collaborating. And in the drama channel, collaborating might mean, faking an issue with somebody, or faking a fight. Because look at it, I mean, in theory, it's effective. In theory, when there's something awful that happens between two people, both of those people benefit from, the money that comes in when that happens and things like that. And I'm not saying that anything that's right now isn't true. I'm just saying I've seen this happen. And, it's like, it's not real. So those people really don't care, but, they'll play it up, and it's a drama community. So that happens. I've actually seen it. And it's not real. And I'm always skeptical. Of whether something is legit or not, or whether something is, always as it seems. I don't know. But there's manufactured drama. And I think that's what I think of behind the scenes, is that, and people being in other people's ears. talking crap about other people, especially like you're allowed to talk crap and have opinions. That's fine. What I don't like is when people are dishonest and are, deceitful behind the scenes for the wrong reasons. And I don't care for that at all. I think that's wrong. That's what I think of as like the toxic behind the scenes. But I do agree with you there, Megan, too, though. And yeah, I think that that's how I handle things. I prefer to handle things privately rather than publicly, or else I don't get a response from that person. In which case, I will come to YouTube to do it. I have not had to do that because I just whatever. People usually respond to me, and I haven't had an issue with many people. And for my own sanity and sake, I mean, I get over things fairly quickly, but but that's the thing. I think that coming on here to you, yeah, I agree with you, Megan. I agree. And right, the triangulating, that's what I'm trying to talk about, is the triangulation. And that's exactly what it is, though. It's like, did you know, like trying to put a wedge in between two people. And I see it a lot with like good supporters of things. So I see it happening a lot with people who are like competing for attention from one person. And this is how I see it in like real life as well. Cause I've seen it in like at work. Right. So it's like, there's the queen bee, for lack of a better word, or, the popular employee that everybody likes, everybody sucks up to, everybody wants to be friends with them. And, there's somebody who they see somebody else getting more attention. So they try to put that wedge and triangulate. I've seen it happen at work many, many, many times, because they tell you that high school ends. But I'm telling you right now, if you work in an office or you work like, with a bunch of people in general, I think that all of us at one time or another have experienced very high school-like behavior and the cliques and that kind of crap there. I think what that is, though, and the other time that happens is if there's, and I went into this about my hate bonding thing. And what I also think is another time this happens is if there's already an established group. So let's say there's a group of people on here that are already close, that are already, a friend group, like a unit. And there is somebody new to the community. And that's usually when you'll start seeing that as well, because somebody will feel threatened. Somebody doesn't want that person joining the group. So immediately they'll try to talk about that person and say nasty things and start rumors because they're threatened by that person, and they think it's going to disrupt their, already established group dynamic. So you'll see that as well. So, I always keep my eye open for that. If the person's new and you're hearing crap about them, I usually immediately think of it. I take that with a grain of salt. If I'm hearing things secondhand anyway, which a lot of the stuff I hear is secondhand. And then, if I can't find a video on it, then, I just kind of have to use my judgment. But, it's nuts, guys. And I don't know when it's going to stop. And I'm going to continue to comment on the things that I comment on, because it's the truth. Like, it really, really is. It's how I feel. Hold on, guys. And it can't, right. I will not go into a Discord. That is not my place, for a lot of reasons, but I have only heard I've heard a lot of really awful stuff that happens there, but, there's awful stuff that happens everywhere, and clearly here as well. But I know that there are always people, like wherever you go, if you say something, even privately, or, don't share anything that you don't want being shared, because I promise you this, there are people that they're injustice collectors, as I like to call them, and they like to, make files about people and store them for later in case they have an issue with that person. And it might be a person that they don't have an issue with at all at that point in time. But they'll start, getting that ready. They'll start making those files right away because, God forbid somebody pisses them off or they cross them. They'll have that to go with. So I know people take screenshots all the time. I know that there are people that screen grab absolutely everything. And I do think that there are some people that aren't lying when they say that they don't watch and somebody sent it to them, but not all the time. I'm like, no. Just admit you watched it. You Googled that. Nobody sent that to you. You did it yourself. Don't be shy with that. But I do. I know subs send things like that as well. I do. I know that. Yeah. Because unfortunately, there are people that will use words. And what I have a problem with, though, really, though, Megan, is the fact that like, there will be people that'll go in and they'll take a screenshot of something, and then they'll immediately go to, and it's out of context. So there's a lot of stuff that gets taken out of context because of a screenshot or because of whatever. What the hell is that? I've never heard a thing like that, but that's the whole problem. Thanks for stopping by, Mrs. B. Yeah, I'm not going to be on too long, because I've got stuff to do. But I wanted to come on and talk about all of that. Yeah, Discord. It's also not like my scene. I'm not. I should be more familiar with it because I'm, doing social media and all. But hold on, though. Oh my god. Sorry, guys. Oh. That's gross. I had a pre-workout drink and it was like all powder. I didn't mix that very well. Okay. Not that I'm working out or anything. It's just, the caffeine. But yeah, I don't know, guys. I think that we all could do better. And I don't think it's just subs. I don't think it's just creators. And I'm also, even at this point, skeptical to say that everything I see is real. In some ways, I think that some things feel manufactured to me, and a lot of it seems to be following patterns that I've seen before with that particular person. And because I've been here for a while, so there are certain things that seem to happen an awful lot to certain people that I'm just like, well, if, for example, and if people are really doing all this, like, that sucks. I mean, I remember last year there was a whole thing where somebody went into the chat with Natasha's dad's picture, and this was probably last May or something, and that was a big deal. And now that's happened again. And if somebody is doing that, don't do that. That's really not a kind thing to do to people. I know that it happens. I mean, I think somebody's done that, other people as well. But it's like, sometimes I wonder. Sometimes I wonder. Now, there are some things that I don't think are made up at all, and I will always mention that when that happens. But you never know, because this is a drama. These are drama channels. It's a business, and you're going to do that. That's just how it. It's how it works. And I have to see it through that. But unfortunately, I don't know. It bothers me that people don't see certain things, though. And I'm just like, maybe people don't want to see certain things, or maybe it's like a self-preservation kind of thing, and that's fine too. But I'm tired of people telling me, kind of gaslighting me and telling me that something isn't happening when I know it is. And I know that a lot of people feel that way too. It's like, well, that never happened. Nobody ever said that. Well, they did, because I've seen it. Or, well, nobody else got an email like that, so I don't know how you did. Well, I did get an email. Like, I'm sorry that nobody else got one, but just certain situations where people will try to tell you or make you feel like you're crazy for like experiencing something, or people will always see your motive, and I do it too. We'll always see your motive as business related or money related or trying to build your channel related, or what they call clout chasing. When really, at least for myself personally, it is not about that for me. I don't think like that. It's not on YouTube. I'm starting to think like that now, because I would like to build my channel. And I think that there is a right way to build a channel. And if I can, that's great. If not, I'm not going to sweat the small things, because it is what it is. I think that I do have talent. I do think that I am well-spoken. I have unique things to offer. I can position myself in this market in a way that's not being a need that's not being met at this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking business terms. I'm sorry. And I don't want to be a person that's like anti anything. So I'm not here to bash Natasha. I'm not here to bash anybody else. I don't want to do that at all. I think that there are a lot of people behaving very badly, and I think that they know they are behaving badly. I don't know how you can't be self-aware of that, but hold on. Let's see. Yeah, Afa, no, it's true though, and you're not wrong with that as well. And I appreciate your support. I appreciate all of your support, and it's, it means a lot to me. It means a lot to me, because I feel like, a lot of people expect you to come on here and be really outspoken about one person or another or whatever, and I don't want to do that. Not because I Not because I agree with what they do, not because I like them, but my channel isn't about talking about Natasha. I don't want my chat talking about Natasha or about Jess or about any of them. That's not what I want in my chat. So that's not what I'm going to talk about. I can talk about things going on without doing that. And that's what I'm determined to do. And it does, like I said, though, guys, I have opinions. Of course I have opinions. I have a lot of opinions. Nothing's changed. I just don't want that. There's plenty of other places. If people need to get that out of their system, there are plenty of other channels that do that. And you can do that. You can go to town. That's not what I want for this, because I also want to do some serious things. But, in between, as filler, I'm going to do this. And I know that my videos get more attention than my lives do sometimes. Depends. It depends. But I've been around to see that bias is a big, it is. And there are some people who really strongly don't like other people. I mean, and I get that. That's fine. But I'm not one of them. I don't feel strongly either way at this point. I just don't. I don't think it's right the way, I don't think the way people are treating each other is okay or right. But at this point, like, I don't have like a target. So it's like, pick your poison. But, I don't have an issue. I don't want to have an issue with anybody. I like to see the best in people. I like to see the good things. I like to see the things that they have to offer. And I'm just going to leave it at that. But I will say what I don't agree with and what I don't like. And there's a lot of things that, I think we all know. But my issue with Natasha isn't the money thing. Or else, it's proven like 100% without a doubt that, she raised money under false pretenses with the lawyer. Then that's a problem. That's a big problem. That is actually not okay at all. But honestly, guys, like, how do you prove that? Now, I know that there's a lot of people that are like, well, we've been waiting for it and all of that. Well, she could draw this out for months if she wants to. And unfortunately, there's nothing any of us can do about that. And, until I see concrete facts about that, I'm not gonna, be yelling about that. If that did happen, that's wrong. And, obviously, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but, but I don't want to just go on hearsay or, assume that I know what's going to happen with things. So I just ignore that. And that's the other thing. Like, I get sent things too. And I'm not going to look, I don't want to look at those things. I don't want people to send me information about other people. I don't know what people think. It's only happened twice, but I don't know what people think I'm going to do with that. I don't even look at it because I don't want to know, because it doesn't bother me. Somebody's criminal record or what they do outside of YouTube, that does not deter me from watching them or, valuing them as a person or giving them a chance. It does none of those things, because it has nothing to do with YouTube. Now, if you're bringing the criminal activity onto YouTube, that's another story. That's another story, and that's debatable. But at the same time, I don't think people's records should be shown. I don't like that. I don't think, like I said, I don't like the fact that Natasha's stuff has been shown. I don't like the fact that Jess's stuff has been shown, and not just that stuff with her dad, that was not okay. I don't like that Kim and Crafton had that happen to them. I think that was wrong as well. And, if people want to feel a certain way about that, then, fine. But that's a really difficult topic to even attempt to explain. And I think that, regardless of it, I mean, it's not our business, not our business. And that's just how I see things. But, you can't make everybody happy. But yeah, right, Mary. I agree with you, because I feel like I've said everything I need to say about things like that. But I'll talk about the topics at hand. So what I wanted to talk about here is just how I see the dynamics going on here, how I see people acting, how I see the wedges being put purposely between other people to make trouble, and that kind of thing, or being in people's ear, like fanning the flames, or encouraging that creator to continue to behave badly. I don't think that that's having that person's best interest at heart. And, ultimately it's going to be them that has to pay for their behavior and not you. So I don't like that. I don't think that's not a healthy relationship there. And I can't prove that it happens. Obviously I'm not, I can't just assume that that's happening. I have a feeling, just a gut feeling, that that's happening quite often. And unfortunately, there are people, and they know that people will react a certain way. So there's a lot of weaponizing of people. So they'll see that there are people that react a certain way to if you do X, Y, or Z. And there are people that take note of that. They're like, well, I want to push this person's button. So what can I do to do that? And they know exactly what to do that. And people deliver on that. They do react. And, people will weaponize that. I've seen a few people be weaponized, honestly. And I don't agree with that either. I don't, but I guess, I can only control my own behavior, and my chat. I can, kind of keep it on track. I don't have any issues in my chat though. So I very, very rarely have issues in my chat. And that's the whole thing of it though, is that, I said, I've kind of always like grapple in my own head with like how I'm going to handle the, everything in general. And I don't think that I want to entirely like, it's not a good time to get into true crime. I'm telling you that, guys. YouTube is not true crime friendly. Now, does that, I've seen a lot of really large channels that, you can't get monetization on a lot of the true crime stuff. YouTube is taking a lot of stuff down and censoring and so on and so forth. However, I don't really think I'm ever going to get monetized. I have the watch time. I have like way over the watch time, but I don't foresee myself getting to 1,000 subscribers, but if I do, that would be wonderful. So if you have not subscribed to me and you like what I'm talking about and that stuff, if you want to hit that subscribe button and that thumbs up, that helps me get into that algorithm, because I get told every day, I didn't know you had a channel. So, I mean, let's get that out there. Because I'd love to. I mean, I don't think I'm at a bad place, but my channel really hasn't grown in a month. I'll be honest about that. I've done nothing but lost subs. And I see that, and I'm reevaluating my strategy because of that. And for me to just say I'm moving on, I'm not doing commentary anymore, I'm not doing any of that, I'm just going to do true crime, that would be an unwise business move for me at this point. But I think that there's a balance. I think that there's a way to do both and to stay things, keep it appropriate. So commentary, you're right, Mary. I think commentary is different than bashing. I think commentary is obviously it's its own genre. It's different than drama. I'm not here to be part of that drama. I'm here to comment on it. Now, if somebody has an issue with how I'm commenting on it, that's fine. I open myself up to that, but I'm not getting involved in anybody's soap opera. It's just not going to happen. Just not going to happen. I want no role in this. I'm a terrible actor. And you don't want me here. You don't want me participating in this. I'll ruin it. I'm not good at it. But I'm going to do a mix of things. I'm going to cover some more serious stuff and like the topics that I know that a lot of people here like, because I have that to offer. My dad's going to help me get some really awesome guests on here, depending on what the topics people want. So I'm looking for that input. So that's something unique that I can offer the community. But at the same time, I also think it's okay for me to talk about what goes on here, because I think that my perspective is a little bit different than anybody else's, because it's mine, and everybody's perspective is different, and how I handle things is certainly different than how other people. And you might enjoy how I present it, or maybe not. I mean, but that's what I'm going to continue doing. I'm not going to say I'm not going to do any more lives about that, but I'm not going to do drama. I'm not going to come on here and do anything like that. And if I do, I mean, feel free to call me out on that, but that's not my desire. What I want to do is I want to do commentary, because that's what's exciting. That's what people want. And if I'm not giving people what they want, then there's no purpose of me doing this, really, like if I'm going to try to build a channel. So that's all. And I would probably still do it anyways, because I don't give up even when I should. I'll just keep going. But when as somebody who does this kind of thing, analytics depress me. And when I see my channel in the negatives, actually I was forecasted to be monetized by now, but no, it said April. That was what Social Blade was anticipating back when I actually was like getting new subscribers. But and that's fine. But for me, it feels like failure, because I hold myself to a high standard, and I like to, and I don't do it because I'm more so I want to deliver on things. I want to put out things that people enjoy. And, as a business person, yeah, the psychology of YouTube, absolutely, Moody Mary, and I intend to cover that. I am actually working on a video about that, and the types of personalities that, YouTube attracts. There's definitely some distinct personality types that I see for creators, for sure. Obviously, it's not a one size fits all. Obviously, there's outliers on that. It's not everybody, but I do think I do see. I mean, I think that, I know that the word gets used a lot, and I don't think that everybody who people here calls a narcissist is actually a narcissist. Like, you have to really look at it. And obviously I can't diagnose anybody, nor can most of the rest of us, or any of us actually, because even if you do that for a living, you don't know that person personally, you have not done a thorough assessment, so you're welcome to your opinion, but you can't do that. But I do think that there's narcissistic behavior in people that tend to come here, including myself. And it wouldn't be the first time somebody has said that about me, but not in those, like, the other. I'm talking about behaviors, not a diagnosis as a person. But that's all. And there's definitely subscribers. There's definitely a lot of reasons that people come on here, and you'll see that people behave in certain way, and you'll see these clicks pretty much in every chat that you go to. And I notice things because I observe, and I see things. I don't like follow people around, obviously, but if I'm in a chat, I see how people talk, how they behave, all of that stuff, and that's just how I do things. I'm observant when I want to be. Sometimes I'm oblivious, but a good mix of both. It's all part of my charm. And yeah, make a music video. I should. I did post my guitar videos for quite some time, and then I took most of them down because people were very rude. And years ago, I think it was like 7 years ago, I was like, I am not going to argue with a like 13-year-old self-proclaimed guitar god, so whatever. But I think we all do have a bit of narcissism. So when I say narcissistic, I don't necessarily mean that person has a personality disorder. Certainly not for every case here. I'm talking about behaviors. So, but there's definitely some patterns, and I think that the patterns are interesting to watch. And it's interesting to see who does what, because honestly, it's like, it really usually is the people you least expect, because more recently, it's like the people that, followed me around chat to chat, harassing me in other people's chats about whatever, are people that aren't, turned out to actually be what they were claiming for me, and if, like, guys, if you have an issue with somebody, that's the other thing I don't like. If you have an issue with somebody, don't bring that to another creator's chat, okay? Like, if I'm in somebody else's chat and you have something to say to me, do not use that creator's chat as your outlet to come at me obsessively. That is not fair to that creator. Like, you are free to come to my chat and do that. You are free to email me if you have an issue. But what you're not going to do is you're not going to disrupt somebody else's live, because it's distracting, and it does not involve that creator. So I see that all the time. So I don't think that chats are a good place to do that. So if you have an issue with me, come to me directly, not in somebody else's chat, though, because that's not fair to them. That's not fair to them at all. Because you can tell that there are people that come on here with the intention of doing a live that's not at all like, drama-y or whatever. And then something happens in the chat, and then it goes in an entire different direction, and usually not in a good way. And I think that can be avoided a lot of the time. Because a lot of the time there's issues in the chat, not in mine, but like in other people. So but I've had it happen to me. I've had somebody follow me from chat to chat, adding me like crazy. And I was like, I'm not even going to respond to you, because that's not how you're going to approach me. You're going to approach me the correct way, and I'm not going to respond to you until you do that. End of story. That's how I'm not going to say that's how it's how I raise children. So, I mean, that's how I do it. If you're going to talk to me in a certain way, then I'm just going to pretend I don't hear you. And then when you're ready to approach me in a socially acceptable fashion, then I will respond. But until then, because I'm not, that's just how I see things. It's kind of like my dogs too. That's how I definitely do with them. If my dog jumps on me, I don't acknowledge her. I turn my back to her. And then, I do not acknowledge her. She can jump on me, and I don't even acknowledge it, because if I do, that just encourages her. I know that it's different with people, but that's how I see it. I'm not giving that the time of day. So don't disrupt other people's chats, guys. It has nothing to do with them. That's not fair. And because obviously, like, I'll see people that'll all jump on one person. They're like, well, I thought you supported so and so, or blah 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 blah, or people have issues with other people. And so I'm like, guys, your issues with X, Y, or Z. Like, I want my chat to be as friendly and open and comfortable for as many people as possible. So if you have an issue with a particular person, there is a block button. You're welcome to block that person. Nobody's going to judge you for that. You are welcome to not watch my live. That's fine too. I wish you wouldn't. I wish you would. Like, I enjoy having people here. I don't want anyone feeling uncomfortable, but at the same time, this is like my chat is not, or else I say it is not a place where we're going to do like peer mediation here. Although there should be a channel that does that. Not that it would be very, I don't know. I don't know if we're beyond that point yet, but I don't know, guys. I don't know. I think that I've said like a lot of what I wanted to say today. And I think my point of today, just in summary, is that I'm not going to play by other people's rules, right? So there seems to be a lot of pre-established rules on who can do what. And, it's okay for some people to do that, but not others. And, it's like the rule book is constantly changing. So, you kind of can't keep up. You need a new manual every day. You need to read up on, what the laws are. And I'm not playing that game anymore. I'm also not going to tiptoe around people because I don't want to hurt their feelings. Unfortunately, that kind of comes with, the territory here. And if you're going to, I'm going to talk about it. And I don't think that how I approach doing that is in a way that is hurtful. So when I say that, if somebody's going to like lose it about that, then I feel that's more on them. Because I do try not to, I just don't come at things combatively. But I'm not going to not say anything at all anymore, because that's why nobody here, no offense to people here. I know some people have told me that they did stand up for me, and I appreciate that I did not see. But, from what I saw, there, when things happen for me, like, I don't know, guys, like, I can't expect people to have my, back for things like other creators. I mean, there have been ones that have said something, but I'm just saying in general, that's not their issue. And I'm not, I know people aren't going to like me saying this, but it's the truth, guys. So let's have some self-awareness. I'm not beneficial to any of you. So I wouldn't be drawn into that. Like, there's no incentive to, that's just how I see things from a business standpoint, guys. Like, honestly, it is what it is. I'm not criticizing anybody. Because I get it. I think like that. But that's how I feel. Maybe that's not true. I'm sure it's not everybody, but I feel like people will associate with other channels that they think that they can benefit from or whatever. I mean, I've been here for over a year, so I just enjoy the people I enjoy. That's what it is for me. If people want to share my link, if people want to, promote my channel, I mean, I appreciate it from like the depths of my being. Like, it means the world to me, because YouTube the algorithm's hard, guys. Like, I haven't quite figured it out yet, and I'm trying, but I'm kind of winging it, and I don't really know what I'm doing. So any support that I get to get going with that is wonderful, and I appreciate it. And there are people here who have promoted me and have done that, and I know that it's not because they expect anything from me. Yes, and I appreciate that. It's always weird when somebody does share one of my videos. I'm just so not used to it. And I'm like, oh no, like now everybody's I'm like, oh, that's the point though. So, but I appreciate it. And I think that unfortunately, sometimes things are done for like the wrong reason, and not everybody. But I think that if that makes sense to people, if somebody's like not beneficial to them, then they're just not going to associate with that person, because why bother? And that doesn't mean just sub count, guys. I mean, like, beneficial as in, you can count on that person to go off on a particular, and really like turn that, dial up with like intensity and to create that drama. You can count on them for that, or they make really great like clip videos that support what you talk about, or so on and so forth. Something that's just beneficial. And I don't necessarily feel that I have anything to offer that is beneficial to anybody here for the most part. Yeah, thank you, Nicole. I don't mean that in a bad way. I just don't think that I'm not like, somebody, I'm not going to be somebody's pit bull here. Like, that's not going to happen. That's not my personality type. I don't have a large community for, that people would benefit from that. Let's see. I mean, the list goes on and on. The only thing that I do have to offer is, my unique, my dad, my connections, the fact that I'm able to get in touch with some people, and he's going to help me do that to get some really awesome guests up here for you. That is what I have to offer, plus myself and my charm. And I think that I'm quite personable. I think that I'm quite funny when I want to be. And I do think, I know I have a lot to offer. I know that, but I'm talking about like in terms of like the community and how things function here. That's what I think. But because I see things as business trends, that's how I see things. I don't, not in my personal life, but when it's on YouTube, I just assume that's how people were, and why, I don't blame them. That's it. That's what it is. But I don't know, guys. I don't know. I just want things to not be hurtful. I'm tired of seeing people hurt. I'm tired of seeing people having panic attacks and just like breakdowns and meltdowns because some people are just relentless and just awful. Like, just be a good human being. I can't imagine that some of the people behave in real life how they behave on here. And I know that there's like that sense of security because you're behind a screen. But when you go to bed, like, are you happy with what you've done online? Can you be proud of that? Because I've been in a couple situations where I'm not proud of that. I don't want my family to see me behaving that way, and I'm not comfortable behaving that way. And I can imagine that, and maybe people can, maybe people don't care. Maybe people think it's okay. And a lot of people justify it too, I guess. They're like, well, I don't like this person and this person did X, Y, or Z, so it's okay for me to do that. And that's the whole mentality that's like, this never ending cycle of nonsense. But, I just encourage people to just, not everything has to come onto YouTube. So, just think before you react. Like, take a few minutes to like, analyze the information that you got. Don't immediately go live. I'll sleep on it. Honestly, if I was to come on here when I'm angry, it would be a whole different, I would embarrass myself. I would embarrass myself for a lot of reasons because, it's not that I don't want to come on here and say those things. It's that once I get it off my chest, I'm not going to feel that intensely about it anymore. And usually I'll just talk to somebody privately about it and be like, it sucks. I'm angry about this. I feel like my channel is going nowhere. It's going downhill. It's, all these things. I should just cancel it. And I don't mean any of that, but what I need to say it. And then I get over it. But if I was to come on here and, talk the way that I talk, about those things privately, I would look really stupid. It wouldn't be a good look for me. So I don't do that. Even though people would probably find it entertaining. So, that's just how I see it. I just encourage people to think before you type too. Think like if what you're saying is helpful and contributing to the conversation, and, just think about how that's going to work. Like if you want to send that thing, you want to run to a thing and say that so-and-so is talking about X, Y, or Z. Do you really think that creator doesn't know that somebody's talking about them? Because I promise you there's somebody telling them that privately. Is you putting that in the chat really necessary? Or, just think before you do stuff like that, because then the whole chat goes off on it. And, what did you accomplish? You told somebody's talking shit about them. I mean, I don't want to know that. I'd be like, okay, well, that creator was trying to do a live about something that was, of substance, but, now we're going to go off the, down the crazy train because, somebody was talking about somebody, and now we're going to do drama. So there we go. And I don't know. But here's the thing, guys, the reality of it though, is that, if people are going to continue to like only really super chat in that amount when people are doing drama, it's not going to stop. And that is why I'm saying to you guys right now, as much as I hate the stuff that is happening here, it is not going to stop. That's just a fact, because it's become lucrative. It's become all of this. And it's like the worse the thing that happens is, the more that you'll see going. And that's just the truth. It's for two reasons. It's because there's a lot of generous, kind people here who feel a connection with a creator, and they don't like seeing them hurt. They want to support them. And, that's what they do for that. And then there's like the type two who want to continue the drama. So they know that that incentivizes it and they want to keep it going. So they will do that. But that's the thing. Like I said, guys, I could probably count on two hands the amount of like donations that I've gotten for things, which I appreciate each and every one of them. I am not entitled to any of your money. I would never say that. I don't feel nobody owes me anything, but the time that I had that issue happen with Dorothy and I was emotional that night, people were sending them to me left and right. And I was like, oh my God, but like, I would feel it would be manipulative for, knowing that information to come on here and be disingenuous with people, because for money, like I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it. But I'm telling you guys, like it's real. I have never gotten that many in one night, ever. And uh, I appreciate it. I do, but I couldn't do it on purpose. It wouldn't sit right with me. And I like to think that other people aren't either, but you never know. You never know. And I like to think that people are tired of the hurt, but unfortunately, like, the other side that does it to them, like there are people throwing money at them, so they're going to go harder, blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, I really don't see it stopping. What I do want to see stopping, though, is just the real life stuff. If we could at the very least stop doing that, I will take that as a win, because nobody's parents should be brought into this. Nobody's children should be brought into this. Nobody's anything like that should be nobody's personal life. There's enough to talk about on YouTube. Why are we talking about people's personal lives? It's petty. And quite honestly, it's disturbing. The fact that there are people that are using their time on this planet, whatever amount of time that we're blessed to have when we're, on this planet and our lives, to, cyberstalk people, for the sake of YouTube. Like, come on. Like, get a hobby. Like, we can talk about those things too. I really strongly encourage some people to, like, what's the purpose? Come on. And I hate that. I hate that. Who has the time? Who has the time? But it's happening, that's how this happens. There's like, somebody found this on this person, so, we're gonna have to send it. And it's like, you get more, you get more attention, like the bigger thing that you bring to that person, I've noticed. And it's like, everybody wants to find the dirt on it. And, to be fair, and let's be honest, I'm using this person's own words. So there's no debate on this. This is just a fact. Natasha did say, if you have any information on, I don't know, I don't remember, I don't remember if it was just on Jessica specifically, or if it was anybody that is opposing her and has, or the hate channels. She specifically asked her subscribers to give her all the information that they have on those people. So, that's problematic in my opinion. Like, I'm sorry, it is. I don't really think it's okay to encourage subscribers to cyberstalk people. That's not okay. And I believe that though about other things. Like, like I said, guys, this isn't about that, but that's part of the problem. You're kind of, no, there's no way around it. She said that. And of course people are going to go do that because they care about Natasha. They support Natasha, and they, either think that, all of this is happening. And, when you're in that situation, it seems that a lot of people forget that there's two sides to a story. And, there's always a reaction, an action and a reaction. So, it's never going to stop otherwise, but that's just what I see. And then people want to, they want to be the person that finds something. So they're going to Google it. And that's weird, guys. That's weird. Like, we don't need to do that. The fact that there are people that I'm positive have like folders or like on their, like, they probably have like, jump drives of just people's information and blackmail, for when the time is right, including probably on myself. So actually, not probably. And what do I do to anybody, right? Like, if you're a creator in this community, I promise you, somebody has something on you. I'm really boring though, guys. Like, you're not gonna find much on me. I'm quite boring these days. It is not, there's nothing fun. But like I said, though, guys, like if like, did it work though? Right. So like, okay, you exposed Jessica's criminal record. Has that deterred anybody from supporting her? Not that I've seen. Not that I've seen. It is, like, and same for Natasha. Like a lot, I mean, a lot of people don't care about that stuff. If somebody has a criminal record, that's not why people are drawn to people. Like that's not a deal breaker for most people. I haven't seen that, change how people feel about Jess. I have not seen it personally. They still support her. So what are you accomplishing by that? Like, you know what I mean? If that makes sense to people. And I hope that does make sense to people. I just think a lot of people are contributing to issues that don't need to be contributed to. And I wish, like, at the very least, that we just stop the real life stuff. So if we can just stop that, we can stop getting involved in people's personal lives. We can stop stalking people online and, potentially in real life. I don't know, because sure that happens too, somewhere, obviously, but I don't know about here. And just stop with that, right? Like YouTube's about entertainment, not about, cyber stalking people. And half the time, like, it looks like people get the wrong people too. So how about we fact check as well? Because that's embarrassing to do. If you're saying like, who was the random person that was put up and said was Granny? Like, I mean, do we know who that was? Because it wasn't her. Like, I don't know, guys, and stuff like that. And then there are people who say that there are things out there, and I can't, I don't know. I don't go look for myself for that, but a lot of it's just talk. You'll notice that too, guys, right? You'll notice that there's going to be people that say that they're going to reveal something. Always be skeptical of the people that say they're going to reveal something at the very end of the live. There is a reason for that, and it is all about numbers, and it is all about getting your engagement and your time, and it's a business move, straight up. And there's nothing wrong with that, I guess, but just I urge people to be skeptical. I urge people to keep their eyes open and not always take things at face value, because I do believe that there are things that are not as they seem, and I'm not saying that that's wrong, because some of the things, it's not wrong what they're doing. It's not wrong. It's just not as it seems. And it happens everywhere. It's not just here. And kind of part of me, honestly, guys, part of me is hoping that the real life stuff that goes on here is just like an act to mutually benefit a bunch of people. When behind the scenes, they're just laughing and joking about it. I wish it was like that. I mean, do I think it? I don't know. But I would much prefer that it be that rather than, people's real lives actually being affected. I'd feel better about it. But unfortunately, there's no way to know. I mean, who knows? Who knows if there's a script? Who knows? I know it happens elsewhere, because it does mutually benefit two channels, right? To go at each other. It's like, how about we, do this? Because it does, it'll first of all, it like gets your name out there, and it generates emotions in people, which emotions generates revenue and money. And it's beneficial for both parties. And usually it's something that they both just like agree on talking about, you know what I mean? So who knows? But I'm not saying that's what's happening. I almost hope, like I said, I hope that's what's happening, only because I don't like that people are actually doing stuff like that to each other. But, unfortunately, I do feel that a lot of the stuff here is very real. And it's unfortunate that people have stooped to that level, but here we are. So I think that's about all that I have to say about this. I hope that I didn't bore everybody too much today, because like I said, guys, this is not what I do on my channel entirely. I will be doing commentary, but I also do other stuff. And that is what is so special about me. And I'm keeping it that way. But I'm also not going to box myself into a corner with any specific format, because I'm not sure where my place is and what I want to do going forward, or even if I want to, bother. I mean, there's going to come a point where, it's not looking too great when, your analytics, you haven't grown in over a month. That's not too great. That looks pretty bad, actually. It feels kind of hopeless. I literally have not gained any subscribers. Like, I've lost enough. So anybody that's subscribed recently has just gone from that in a month. So there's that. But, it is what it is. So I'm just going to keep plugging along. I'm going to keep doing what I do. I'm going to keep evolving and trying to be a good person, and all of that. Hold on. I have not, Dave. I posted on my community tab just a list of ideas. What my dad's idea was, he texted me this morning and said that, because obviously with what he does, he has connections, like networking opportunities. So he said, make a list of the topics that you want to cover and we'll find appropriate guests for you. And I was like, okay. So I want your guys' input on, hi, Madhouse. I'm just about to get off of here too. Yeah, well, yeah, I feel bad now because I like having you here, but yeah, I've been on here for like 2 hours, so I don't know. But yeah, I'm looking into what people want to do because he's gonna help me find somebody. So I think that's awesome. Because he's not an expert on everything that I want to talk about, but I think that that's great. I don't know what he's gonna come on next and talk about. I haven't really thought about that yet, but yeah. Yeah, Dave. Because he has friends that are in like professionals in various industries and stuff, or disciplines, or etc. And he knows a lot of people, so I want people's input on what they would be interested in hearing about. And I'm gonna make that. What he said is, I'm gonna make that list. We're gonna sit down together, and he's gonna help me find guests to come on. And I've been Madhouse. That's not a bad thing though. Getting back to life and getting back to some sense of normalcy as best you can is always a good thing. It always makes me feel better. But yes, I'm probably going to get off of here for now. I have schoolwork to catch up on. I have housework that I've been neglecting, and so on and so forth. But thank you all very, very much. If you're listening to the replay, hit that thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, I would love to have you. And I don't know when I'll come on. I have some live scheduled for true crime stuff, and I intend to do those. I have a community post if you want. Yeah, you can totally give me an idea if you want to put it in the comments there. Thank you for stopping by, Dave. Or else you can type really fast, Madhouse. But yeah, so thank you all very much. I appreciate each and every one of you. Honestly, I really do. I appreciate that there are a lot of you that can have differing viewpoints than me on some things, but still appreciate the content that I do, still appreciate how what I do here. And I think that that's a sign of a very well-rounded person, honestly. And I know that there are people in here that don't always support the same people as me, but or not even support. I mean, I guess people just have preferences, but I'm tired of the hurt, guys. Like we've heard a lot of people like crying and really emotionally distraught. And, I want to be very clear. I'm not saying it's fake. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I wish it was, because then, people wouldn't really be hurting like that. But the fact of the matter is they are. And, regardless of what somebody's done to you, there's just some lines that shouldn't be crossed regardless. And then, people need to know when to quit with that. And there are just some things that, like, if I saw somebody hurting because of my actions, I would stop. That wouldn't feel okay with me. I would not be comfortable with myself as a human to continue on day after, you know what I mean? That's not in my nature. But I'm tired of hearing people so upset. It breaks my heart. It really, really does, because unfortunately, you can tell a lot of this is genuine. So, and actually, that is interesting, Madhouse. I've actually that was kind of something similar on my list. But yes, that is a very good idea. And I will definitely keep that in mind and note that. But that's, if I have any words of wisdom, guys, it's just be good people, right? Like, we can do like the drama or whatever, but we don't take it to that next level. You see it hurting people, right? Like, I can't tell you how many lives I've gone on and like the hurt that I can tell. And I'm not just talking about creators, people that are up on panel. There are people that have had a whole bunch of horrible stuff happening. And like, honestly, guys, whether like you think that it is happening or not, it's really apparent that's very real to that person. And, people saying, well, I didn't see that. That's not helpful. If you didn't see it, you didn't see it, but the hurt's real there, guys. And I don't know. I just wish that we would all think before we spoke and we acted. And if that could happen, I would be so happy. That's from a episode of South Park. But yeah, guys, I don't know. That's all I can say about that. It's just be good people, support who you want to support. But yeah, I mean, I think people know my viewpoints. That's the other thing. Like, don't come on here and tell me that how I feel about somebody else either, because you're nothing has changed. I just don't want to be a channel that just talks about one particular person. I go to the chats of people I like, so there's that. Yeah, act like you would in real life. I mean, right. I think that there's a good thing for that. Like, there are people that are shy, like myself, who don't speak very much in real life, or else you know me. I'm very, very quiet, or else you get to know me. And I was afraid that I was going to have that problem here. But, because I've been able to, not be on camera all the time, because I've been able to do all of that, it's really boosted my confidence in talking. And I feel like I know you guys now. So for me, it's not so much talking to strangers. And that's what matters to me. But, I think it's a good outlet for some people to socialize when maybe in real life they have a harder time relating to other people. I definitely know that I write better than I talk. Because obviously sometimes I'm at a loss for words. My brain doesn't work correctly. My brain doesn't work correctly at all, period. And a lot of the times I'll lose my train of thought. Like, half the time I'll be talking and then I literally cannot remember what I was saying. And I have to try to save it and be like, oh yeah, okay, well, I'm going to try to take it in another direction. But yeah, people don't, right. And I agree with you. And I just wish people would think about how you would feel if it happened to you. Think about how you would feel if it happened to a family member of yours. Put yourself in the other person's shoes. And if it wouldn't feel good, then, I don't know, put some thought into it before you do it. I get it. People get angry. I get it. People are hurt. But two wrongs don't make a right. And ultimately, what are you contributing to it besides more like hurt and, more anger? And it won't stop otherwise. But, I do truly believe that, there are people that don't want this to stop. But you know what I mean? But it doesn't need to get to the point where it's gotten, is what I'm trying to say. Like, it's okay to be a drama channel, but we don't need to be doing this real life crap. Stick with YouTube. End of story. Anybody's family, off limits. Like, there was no exceptions to that. And we just need to abide by that. Unfortunately, I am only one person, but I am dedicated to hold myself to those standards. And if other people would like to, do that, that would be great as well. But obviously I have no influence on that. But it is what it is. And I support the people I support. I like the people I like. If I like their content, I'm not tiptoeing around anybody anymore. I'm done doing that. If you really think that you can't be friends with me because I'm in a certain chat, well then, you know what? That's your problem and that's not my problem. That is something going on with you, because I don't do that. I don't do that. So if you see me in a chat and you take that as a direct attack on you, maybe you should reevaluate your thinking process. There's some cognitive distortions going on there or something. I don't know. But I'm tired of tiptoeing around things and making YouTube not fun for myself anymore because other people react in certain ways, because I need to focus on myself, my channel, my subscribers. My loyalty is to you guys. My loyalty is to you guys and people who support me in general. Like, that's what it is. You support me. I appreciate that. And I don't forget those things. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that though. But I'm not gonna censor myself or limit myself to where I'm not doing that anymore. I've done that for long enough. And at this point, I don't care. I'm not here to make friends. If I make friends in the process, that's great. But, you can't make everybody happy. And I'm done trying to do that. It's just who I am as a person, though. I'm very helpful. If I like you and you're good to me, you say jump, I'll say how high. I'm a very hard worker. I have a very strong work ethic. I am very helpful. And I will go that extra mile for people who would do the same for me. But it's become apparent that I don't want to say nobody. I mean, maybe people would, but I don't know. I haven't met those people yet. And I don't think they would do the same for me. So I don't owe that to them. But people like that about me. I get used a lot for those things. Whether it be, money or whatever. And that's just in my life, my personal life. But it's something I'm working on, but I need to stand up for myself. I need to do what's right for me. And, I'm not going to put too much effort and thought into people who don't do the same for me. And because that's not healthy. It's not healthy to dwell on things like that. And I know that there are people that support me. I'm sure there are, creators that support me and maybe aren't vocal about it. Some of them are, and I appreciate that so very much. When any creator at all, acknowledges that they enjoy something that I do, I appreciate that, because, a lot of people have bigger audiences than I do. And I do some unique stuff here. And I think that a lot of people would really like the stuff I do with my dad. And I just don't think a lot of people know that I do that. So I get every day, "Oh, I didn't know you had a channel." And I'm like, yeah, it's because I don't know. I don't know how to do YouTube, guys. I don't. And I'm not friendly enough with any creator at this point that they're gonna put, and I'm not gonna ask anybody to plug my channel either. I know better than to do that. I'm not gonna do that. That's a whole other thing. If people want to do that, then that's wonderful, and I appreciate it, but I'm not going to ask. But I would like to start going on more panels. I would like to start doing some collaboration stuff if anybody's interested. And I mean, I don't have anything to offer in terms of YouTube, but I do have my very charming personality and my, well-spoken and wit. And I like to think I'm pretty smart. So, I'm good for discussions. I'm definitely good for discussion. So, there's a lot of positive things about me that I think that, would bring, I don't know. I do. I want to branch out. I don't want to just stay on my channel. It's boring to just stay here. And I want to interact with more people and get out there more, because, why not? I think about things too business-like. And that's a problem. It's especially when you're a channel like mine, it's small. If I was a large channel, like an empire, so to speak, then I would be able to justify that. But this is just for fun, right? I would love to build my channel, but right now I shouldn't be looking at this as a business venture, because it takes all the fun out of it. And I'm not done having fun on here. So, it is what it is, and we'll see where it goes. And so thank you everybody for joining me. I might be on later tonight. I might not. I don't know. And yeah, so check out that community tab, though, my community tab, and let me know if you have any ideas. I might do a poll too. Or if you want to email me, it's beeplus44@gmail.com. I would be open to those ideas as well if you don't feel comfortable commenting on it. But I hope everybody has a lovely day, and I will see you guys soon.